gets. I know my manners. So I'm reloading Alphabet here. We always talk about this, and I say it over and over again, and I'll continue to say this until I actually do it 99.9% of the time. But if you're playing a resistance or support level and it's trending in the other direction into your level, there's two ways to get filled. You can either get filled on the front end, or you can get filled on the back end. And that just means as it's going up to said price, 118 was a double top. I'll just keep on the 3-minute here because it'll show you double top Thursday and Friday. As it ran to that price, I was shorting into it, got stopped out, and then jump back in on the backside. Now, you don't always get everything you want up here because a lot of the best fills are going to be between 117.90 and up here like 118.25. I got 0 of those fills when it wicked 50. I only got the fills back under here. It's just, that's part of it, but you got to be willing to miss the trade to make the trade. So I'll end up down despite the fact that the exact level I was looking for ended up holding. And the other frustrating part of it was the 116 was probably good for the same type of thing. Only it happened a little too fast. It wicked underneath at the open. Actually, it wicked underneath before the open, right before the open, so I wasn't willing to take that trade before the market opened up. Once it opened up, it opened and then sort of ran away from that 116 level because that's all you had to look at was 116 and 118 on Alphabet. That was too quick, but should have been more patient on the back end. Now I'm just sort of shorting the relative weakness of putting in a lower high on the NASDAQ in here. There you go. So you're putting in a lower high, haven't broken through resistance on the NASDAQ, so something is relatively weak is now rejecting VWAP. So I jumped into this shorting 117 in front of VWAP here on Alphabet once it couldn't break back up toward the top. But patience is a virtue. It doesn't mean you're going to have it all the time. You just try to have a little bit more of it sometimes. So I'll be frustrated. I mean, I felt like I lost in the morning on the right stock, just the wrong way. Like that was worth looking at. It's just, should have waited a little bit more patiently. Just got a little sloppy, shorted the first curl instead of the real one.
Yeah, I'm back in to Google as well at the same level. We'll see if we can get Greensville on that name. The trade that I'm most happy with. What's up to Reliable Rudy? And apparently Reuters got a hold of the sticky note, and BABA is all the way up to the upside now, 88.25 as we continue to hold this name. We had it down here as a buy near 85. Comes in, we take 85.80, and the rest is history. Alibaba is still a huge move to the upside here today as big tech. This is not, we're probably going to talk about China at the bottom. Okay, so yeah, what else do we want to talk about? AMD. AMD's been an absolute banger today as well. I just want to see what's going on in the chip space. Okay, AI. So like today's sticky note has on it, Google short 118, that works. Amazon long, we want to check that out anytime. C3 AI long, we'll talk about that long, 21. Crazy break on that one. And then Alibaba with the long as well. So we're really happy with the way the performance of this market today was. And it's funny because you brought that up. We've actually made AMD's now going to be my #1 stock on the day. But, Apple with the short, you talked about the ES and the NASDAQ both up, but doesn't feel like it's up enough. And that's because Apple down 0.4 today. So we'll wait to see what's happening right now. But yeah, we are not loaded back up, but we have decent position here on this Google short that we just took right there at 117.10. So we're going to wait to see if this one wants to work for the short as well. But that's the biggest tech name that I have right now with the most amount of shares. We're also long, by the way, Microsoft. We just, 308.60 all the way to 309. Like, some people, this is a good trade, 50 cents. So we take out half up there as it comes to the 200 period. Let's hold on to Microsoft as well as we waited very patiently to get that one long down there. So a couple good trades. We'll see as this afternoon goes on how they start to fill out. But I talked about AI but didn't have it. Neil's the one who did. So we'll go over to Brendan and Sharif and get the story. Then we'll talk more about AI.
Yeah, just quickly on Amazon before we do that, this just popping up in front of me here. Tiger Global increasing their stake in Amazon by 12.5% to 9.7 million shares there for Tiger Global. This was down here. If I zoom in, you can see it better. They're going to, according to Bloomberg anyways, Amazon also going to incorporate ChatGPT style search in its store. So I guess you can refine maybe what it is you're looking for as far as on Amazon, but cool, nevertheless. Let's talk about AI. I'll grab that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, when I search for a product, I don't really have the exact phrase that I'm looking for. If there can be an AI to help me with that, I'll be quicker on that buy button, Brendo.
You want a pink shirt instead of a black shirt. Anyway. C3 AI gaining today, to say the least. 21%, huge day. After this comes out this morning, preliminary results again. June 1st, the actual earnings day here, but they come through with really nice numbers for their latest quarter.
Yeah. For the day, we've seen this earlier where companies, they're eager to report, they're eager to take advantage of the wave while it's happening. And yeah, good for them, up 21%.
But do they maybe shoot themselves in the foot here ahead of June 1st? Do we get a 20% move on June 1st? Probably not, guys.
There's nothing wrong with a pink shirt, first of all. I mean, do you? It sounded a little like Brendan was throwing a little shade at the pink shirt there, which is a nice looking shirt. But look, C3AI, it wasn't necessarily the easiest in terms of like setting up at the open. You knew what we're going to be looking at, right? Like the $20 to $21 level since this entire AI craze happened. And this, sort of started at the beginning of the year. You really broke out when it got through like $15, but it was this 20 to 21 area that was support. When it broke down, there was maybe like one obvious day of a short when it broke that level. Outside of that, you had the short report in there up there when it was in the 30s. So when it got back above this level, you kind of need like that breakout, but that's 20 to 21 there. It wasn't necessarily clean. A lot of times you can have like the clean break is at 21, but then it breaks it in the pre-market. So, what are you sort of left to do when you've already made this challenge? Like you're in the consolidation level. Oh, I had nice lines drawn. Damn it. You're in a consolidation level. This is 21. That's last week's high. So you've already broken last week's high in the pre-market. This is at 8:30 a.m. We're coming on air. At about just about 9 o'clock or before 9 o'clock, you're breaking the 21 area and you make this top. Well, so the only way I was structuring it was if it pulls back in, holds previous high, there's your consolidation. I suppose you could be long inside here. Retakes 21, just take the breakout long of the high. Give it back in. It never actually challenged back beneath 21 even, and then you're sort of off to the races to the upside. Now, I actually just got trailed out of this. I heard Max talking about a short in this. I suppose when he said it was a short, it was this tight consolidation up at 23.5, and that's where I trailed out. It's close enough to 24 that this is where, going back to the daily chart, 24 is where I thought it should slow down a little bit. I thought maybe it could press a little bit higher, break 24, and the short would be between 24 and 25. But I felt like that was the right spot for the out. It could have quadrupled from that point. I shouldn't have used that term because it's theoretical. But it could have certainly pulled back 50 cents to $1 if it doesn't hold this consolidation. Now it might just break the top. If it gets to 25 even, I'm looking for 24 to 25 as a short zone. This wasn't the only name that was running, so I'll get it out of the way here because I don't think we talked a lot about Upstart. They were in the news. Maybe equally impressive in terms of a breakout to the upside, pun intended. But yeah, this one made its move last week. You saw it get to 21, and it's not really rocket science. I'm shorting this based on where it failed. The next day, you had a 20.50 top on a failed break of 20, right at 8:30, and then it flushed to the downside. It bounced off 16, wait for it to get all the way, break 20, fail that same lower high, jump in the short consolidation. So, that's the difference between getting short on the back end and the front end. One of which is much more calm, and if you lose on it, you're like, okay, well, I waited for it to get there. It showed me a sign of weakness at the price I was looking for, and then you got the short while the short is good. So if you get it on the front way into here, you're shorting, you're short here, 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 here. You're probably getting stopped out there, and then you're just trying to make it back on the back. But now short in Upstart, it is a very strong trend to the upside. It is short sell. It does have a high short interest, so I am going to get out of this if it breaks this consolidation. I'm not even giving it back to the high anymore. Either this fails to 19 or VWAP that first time, or to break out again. I think if it takes out 2020, it's blowing through the high of the day. So I'm not even giving this back into the high of the day like I would have when I got in.
All right, we just got out of more Google there. I don't have AI, but if you did have any interest in it, I'm going to keep putting on names that I think have a chance to blow out and give some good trade ideas. So even all right here, we talked about it. I think this moves past 21 and we take the long. Well, we didn't do that. So C3 AI, good trade today. Carvana also moving around a little bit, but just quickly there, we were able to get this out at the 50 period. And again, like not trying to play around, trying to take some shares. We got some out at 117, which is only 10 cents. Then we got 20 cents down here at 90s. So hopefully Google can get itself back to the downside. We tried the short earlier once it broke the day's low. I still think we can do that. Apparently right now, McCarthy's saying there's nowhere near reaching a conclusion and to the debt ceiling. And apparently there's more news. Yeah, like if they don't get it done by the end of this week and yada, yada, yada. So this should be a revolving door here on the futures. So let's wait to see what happens as more debt talk going through. And honestly, man, missed that Amazon trade as well. We were long on Amazon and got out right here, and too bad because it just ripped up through 111. We were in and out of Amazon there as we felt there was a problem. Then we got in again, then out, and then just danced with it here a little bit. And that's the in at 109.70. There's an out at 110 flat, and then there's my final out at 110.38. Which was good, and then we just back and forth there, but missed that move up on Amazon. Let's try not to move let's not try to miss the move down here on Google, just in case we do fail again upside near VWAP. That's where we just took our last short. So patience pays in this market, and it seems like it's working today. You patient for AI, you get the move. That was a good trade.
Quickly, here's a note on Upstart. So this Castle Lake LP is taking $4 billion worth of their loans, essentially. No word or detail as far as how much for each on this, but $4 billion, a pretty good number there. Just a heads up, PNM in New York, falling off a cliff right now. So that halted news pending, but apparently a few people know what the news is already. So I'll keep an eye out for that. But PNM halted right now, downside news pending. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Tesla was on the board this morning. We were talking about what happened last week, essentially. We got the news from Elon that new CEO from Twitter. So we get the gap to the upside, but it fades the entire gap and then some on Friday. We were starting the day essentially right at those lows.
Yeah, it was a good look last week, especially how investors have been petitioning the board to kind of get Elon to focus a little bit more. But this just coming to my news blotter, Brendo, Tesla makes room for new production line in Fairmont. If you could come to my screen, it looks like Tesla submitted an application to demolish and update certain production lines. And this move, it's touted, aligns with leaked images of the project Highland, which is the redesign for the Model 3. So we'll see if we're going to get a news headline with respect to that anytime soon.
See the back end of that one, Randy? He likes it. I did. There was pictures floating around on the weekend of the new
Is it good?
Model 3. It looks really cool. Yeah, it looks really good.
Have to look.
Tesla, guys, what was the deal today?
Can we see that picture again? I actually missed that.
Yeah, we didn't.
There, we can have a look at that. I didn't trade Tesla today.
I did trade Tesla. I was joking when he says, "Hey, Randy, you see the back end over there on that?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere that I probably
just went down.
make.
Remember, Bostic is talking right now.
What's
we've
he
got
saying?
a big, I don't know, we've got a big winner right now on Google as that just broke down through 116.85, but then right back up. So just be careful. Be careful about all that. Tesla,
Yeah, I mean, he'll be back and forth.
Yeah.
I think you want to ear to the ground. I want to make sure I actually have my tweet deck open, or my tweet-in, I think I'm using. Yeah, tweeting. Anyways, Tesla, I did trade it at one level, 166.5. Just show my 15-minute chart real quick. Okay, there's 166.5. Once it broke down, it was like short beneath it. If there was a mistake, it was not reversing long when it ended up breaking VWAP there. So, it was a good long, I suppose. It got all the way to 168 and change. Certainly, you would have made money on that. I did not reverse it. If we break back down 166.5, I'll probably look for the shorts again. If we're going to get a lower high here, Tesla's been weak essentially all day, and we want to be able to respect it. There it is. Yeah, the Model 3 Highland there. There's the back end that Randy was so happy to see there.
They haven't changed the look of a Tesla ever. So
No, they don't.
It's nice to see that. I think that looks pretty sharp. I like that.
It does look nice.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I know it's part to look at. Yeah, that looks like a good part right there. Shreve's in our ear telling us to look at this part.
Look right here.
Look at that part. Look at those back lights right there, those tail lights. So yeah.
Them tail lights are legit.
Yeah, man. You know you're a fanboy when he has to highlight all the exact parts. Look at this part. He's saying in our ear. Got it. That was Sharif, what a great part those back tail lights are. But no, I think it's a good thing that Tesla actually goes ahead and does that. Honestly, I said the same thing.
No,
That's
it's-
the only reason why I don't even really want a Tesla, to be honest with you, is there's too generic. You have a Tesla, I have a Tesla, everybody has a Tesla. It's a great car. I mean, no one complains.
Nice.
Still a hype car. There's no doubt about that. But I would choose something a little more original, a little more higher end, but that's Tesla's a great car, and obviously they have huge high-end Tesla models as well, talking about the generic. So good move on Tesla. I really like them. I'm still a shareholder in Tesla, and I think do we have Danielle Shea coming on today as well? Brendo? I think we do have Danielle Shea. So she'll be talking all about Tesla, and we'll find out if she likes that or not. I know that they're talking all about the Cybertruck.
She wants a truck.
Yeah, she wants a truck. Yeah, we talked about that last time. So I kind of freaked out a little bit there about Google. Why? Because of this fill right there.
Awesome.
I mean, we were bidding 80s, and that came right in and filled us. So that's 30 cents right there back on Google. So we didn't make too much money at all off the open. We actually got destroyed. We're making a little bit back now, as we said there on Google. We just got a 30-penny print. Short nines, I believe I'm short nines, yeah. Out 81 right there, so let's call it 28 cents. Nice move to the downside there. Most of the outs are at the 50 period now, as we still have half of this Google position looking for a push down right now in the futures. We'll have some more trade ideas after we get done this. I as well did not trade SoFi today, and if you did, then listen up to this story from Brendan.
It was all about the Wedbush note this morning for SoFi. This is it. Downgrades to cut or to underperform from neutral from Wedbush coming off. I mean, it was a decent start to the week last week anyways, but we finished pretty negative. Here's 6%, and that's on a huge bounce for SoFi.
Yeah, and it was the second time this month that Wedbush downgraded SoFi. They had done so initially from outperforming to neutral, dropping it from 8 to 5. But Brino, like I mentioned this morning, Anthony Noto, he's the CEO of SoFi, and he purchased 30,000 shares last week with an average price of $5.12 a share.
Yeah, nice bounce, guys, off 4.5, I guess it was, that prior low if you go back to beginning of May. But not much follow through here yet this afternoon for SoFi.
It was a nice bounce. And, you know, I gave it some room. I'm never going to give anything like infinity or just hold it to 420 or anything like that. But, you know, you had that 450 bottom. It was 457, actually. So we're looking at that 450, giving it a little bit beneath. It would have been about 10 cents beneath that level on the daily and a few pennies underneath that 450 level. I started getting into it on the first little bit of a curl, like wait for it to make the first move down. It holds 450. I grab in a little bit here at 55. At that point, about half in, actually less than that. And then when we get the real bounce here, it rejects, it breaks 450. I let it break the level, and then I get it all in. It still manages to hold at 47. It's bouncing, and I'm not really here, like I'm not taking it out there. Like if you're taking shares off at this particular point, when it goes like 3 or 4 cents in the money, it doesn't actually make a heck of a lot of sense, risk to reward, because you're risking essentially 4 or 5 pennies. But it stopped me out, and then there it goes. So it won't say front end, back end. I can't say that I wasn't at least a little bit patient with this one. I could have given it a second shot. That would have been right about here at about 10:50. I wasn't paying attention at that point. I was kind of moving on to other names that were working for me. And then sort of you get that nice little bounce to the upside. That's where you can put that trade on, where it ran the stops and then held that same high. So the level was kind of correct, and the move did work out risk to reward, but like anything else, you got to have an out. That's how you limit the losses, quite frankly. Like, keep those losses within the realm of, okay, well, if I would have made, whatever you would have made on something, you can't be losing 3, 4, 5x what it was ever potentially giving you. So, it ends up being an ugly out on the chart, but quite frankly, like, I gave it some room past the stop. I didn't have the stop exactly at 50 cents. It just happened to go that 1 extra cent that it needed to, or 2 extra cents to stop me out, and that ended up being the low of the day.
Yeah, for me, no SoFi, no cry. So I don't have SoFi today, but I did read in the chat earlier, and I forget who it was. They did mention, hey, make sure you look after that 450 level. So it's a good talk about that level right there. As I'm still, we're almost at the highs we've been every day, all day here, as Alibaba's $2.25 in the money, which brings us right over to our next story about a China bounce, Brendo.
Quickly, guys, though, and as we were talking about Anthony Noto there, another SEC filing popped up in front of me for this time 108,000 shares, bringing his grand total now to 6,488,000 that he owns. So buying up more. His average price, $4.67. That's all right.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, we were dealing with Chinese ADRs this morning as well. I mean, coming off such a negative day on Friday, the entire group was downside in a big way. There was a bunch of headlines suggesting, and this was overnight over in China, suggesting that policies coming from Chinese authorities might be loosening a little bit when it comes to adding more liquidity into their equity market. So their market was up 3-4% to start the week.
Yeah, the thinking there, Brendo, is they have not recovered quickly enough for the liking of, for the CCP there. Brendo, I just want to mention quickly that we have a couple of Chinese names up for earnings tomorrow morning. We have Baidu, and we also have Tencent. And like I mentioned on the midday show, these ones tend to be a bit earlier than North American companies who report in the pre-market. So look for that 4 a.m., 5 a.m. release.
But it makes our job easier when we come into the morning because it's already here. Here's NIO. I wanted to mention NIO as well, having a pretty good day. Back to session highs here around 820. Held that low from Friday. Pretty nice for NIO.
All right.
NIO.
Yeah, Neo, if you're going to watch that movie, take the right pill, and then you'll be able to figure it out, and then you'll be able to trade. Yeah, I don't know if it is the red, blue, or the pill. I don't know which pill to take after all that.
I haven't seen the new one, believe it or not.
There is a new one?
There's a Matrix 4.
That's how you know that
was like 2 years ago, I think.
Was Keanu as well?
Yeah. I still have, it's on Amazon Prime. I haven't seen it, though. Seriously, you guys, I mean, I don't know. Is it any good? Should we
I would guess no, Neil. I mean, you are a sci-fi kind of tech guy.
Yeah, I'm a little
like if you haven't seen it, I would assume you haven't heard many great things about it. But
I haven't heard much of anything.
What we did hear about a good thing today was Alibaba, and I mean, I just honestly from this morning, we can come over here and just have a quick look. Like I was looking at this $85 level again, just from the 20 period. You know, we came in, we sort of bounced off 85 a couple times. We started the day, you know, pretty upside, and I wasn't sure if we would get an 85 fill, but then this is what happens to trading, and it happens all the time, where, you know, and this is, and I said this on the midday show. Sharif actually confirmed it because he's come here late and seen me here and not said anything to me. But yeah, the open has been a little wild for many, many names. And despite Alibaba being up 3.25% today and at day's high, look what it did right off the open. It absolutely flushed, like as if it was the other way, like as if the news was negative, right? I feel like coming into earnings, we really wanted to hold Alibaba long. We get some good releases from China. Brendan dropped the story. So I liked the long, and at first we came in, we flushed down there, and it was 85.80. And I said, that's still not low enough, but look at the time, man, it's 9:52. So we've already sort of had some flush down moves here. So my opinion was to go long. So we got long on the 86 break, 86.30, 86.40, outs. And I just got one. Thank you, Randy. So out there. Then it flushes down again. I'm like, okay, well, we'll take that same long again here. This time at 90, I guess that's 86. That was 86.05. Comes in, so we take it. Then we go 1-to-1, and then it's upside, and we're still in this now $2.20 in the money as we were at the highs. I got to give a big shout out to you. And this is where you would be coming on the show if we did that guest of the day thing, because Reliable Rudy was like, yo, dude, hold this at least until 88. So there it is, nice upside move for Alibaba. And I'm going to hold it, man, Reliable Rudy. I actually haven't, can't believe I'm saying like Reliable Rudy multiple times. I just get it again. We're going to wait until it breaks clean 88. Then we're going to get out. I think we done good holding this. That's my version of Diamond Hands, $2.20 winner, top to bottom on Alibaba. What's good, Brendan?
There's a spike down there in Boeing shares, guys, on heavy volume. Delta said to be in talks with Airbus on a major, quote-unquote, major jet order. So Boeing downside.
Nice.
Well, there's only two places you can go, right? So obviously, if the business goes to Airbus, that's not going to be good for Boeing. It's a dollar move down, but the volume already is tapered. Like one big spike to the downside, and the volume already tapered off pretty quickly, unfortunately. So I don't know if there's going to be a there just yet. If it's going to trend to the downside, I'm not really seeing any follow through there. We'll keep an eye on Boeing just in case maybe it retests that 200 level to be sure. I think it'll be a good one. Look, when it just wake me up when Boeing breaks upside or downside on the daily chart. We've talked about this before, like the low 190s, 220 up at the top, everything in between. Look at how much it's condensing here. Is the stock in desperate need of breaking this range for anything exciting to happen? That's probably why not a lot's going on. I'll get to Pinduoduo for a second because I didn't break a rule. However, I should explain. I'm out of this one essentially flat on the breakout trade. So PDD, it had this top here, 65.5, 66 breakout, which lined up for me kind of not a flat top break, but break and then a big gap fill. It ends up holding support, and then it runs into resistance. You're getting into the end of the day. Sometimes you will see the Chinese ADRs move in the afternoon. PDD is not usually one of those. So I elected, and right now it doesn't feel like the right decision, but I elected to get it out when it presented me the opportunity to be able to get out flat when the futures were slowing down off of the highs. So I took that opportunity to just get out and say, okay, it can still continue this breakout tomorrow where there's all day for it to work. If it had broken in the morning, I'd have way more time and I wouldn't have got out of this essentially flat. But that's a decision I made. It can break out the high here and then it'll end up doing so without me. So I'm no longer in PDD. Sometimes you make that play and it's late and you think it has a chance to go before we get to right now, which is 2:30. It took forever. I heard Brennan mention NIO there. And so just really, really quickly, not necessarily gloss over it, but this is another day and another hold of $8 for NIO. So it already had what you could call a wipeout bottom. It's not really. I don't know that you'd call this a wipeout bottom. There wasn't that much volume when it hit 750. However, it's putting in a higher low. It's holding $8 here. There's at some point, you got to figure if there's a trend reversal, there's going to be a pretty strong upward day. It's been a while for NIO. First step is usually holding a low, putting in a higher low, consolidating, then breaking. Okay, well, it's doing that thing where it puts in a consolidation after the low, and then the last time it did this, there was a break at $9.50 to like almost $11. That's kind of setting up here. So alert to NIO, which we haven't been looking at for the last little bit, but the $8 defense does it enough times, eventually you're going to get a breakout.
All right. Man. Whoops. Good afternoon. Okay, so what do you guys want to trade, man? What's up? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Bears versus Bulls, thank you so much for continuing to keep this the best community around and putting out some over-unders right now for the bet. I believe it's, someone said Microsoft, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about this. First of all, just shout out to Google. We just got printed at 75, and I noticed that we started to bounce a little bit off 70 there. So I do have a bid back at 70 as we ringing some registers. Seriously, man, 40 cents, honestly, guys. Like, you have to remember, 40 cents for you. You know, we're trading here on a prop floor, so just understand that, you know, share size is a little different here maybe than many of you. So you have to be very, very careful with, you know, how we're trading and some of the ideas that we have. People have also talked about that some of the ideas that I'll give, you know, for sure on some of the stocks that I talk about, you could trade weekly calls or puts on that, same as Neil, on any stock that is liquid, that has those options, right? And so that's be a little bit more like what we do.
Maybe not on those.
That's what I said about what some of those ones that.
What's that?
OMH.
OMH. Yeah, I'm going to guess there's no options on that.
You had another one today.
No,
well, no, SoFi would have options.
SoFi's got options, but not OMH.
GIST.
GIST.
That was one that I've heard you talk about today. Okay, so that would be another name that, you know, if you're going to trade those, you know, probably just use a little less shares and you'll be fine on all of that. Yeah, that's funny. 100,008 more shares of SoFi at 467. So Brendan already pumped that out there for Anthony Noto now. 6 million shares. We roughly did the math at $6, $5 a share. 35 million in there for him. So that's pretty nice.
It's a good.
But don't get it twisted. I mean, how much money these guys make, you know. I don't know the structure of his contract. So
what's the deal with?
Are they sleeping? I think the bull is just like, yo, Bear, just call up a shoulder here. And I'm going to sleep on you for a minute right now, which is kind of what the market's doing a little bit right here. Kind of barcoding. Oh, you know what, Brendan? I saw a tweet from Danielle. She's traveling this week. Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. I saw that, and then I asked live on the show, but I knew that perhaps it was going to
That
be
makes sense.
yeah, a no-go for that. So I don't believe that that's happening.
So we'll miss out on Daniel. But
Yeah, we will. We'll get someone else. We'll get someone else. Yeah, oh, yeah. So Microsoft, we are 18, 20, 30 cents in the money or so, but it has just come back. So we actually took this long right here as well on Microsoft. So I don't know what the Streamlabs bet is there. Maybe if it hits again, I'll try to notice it. Or Bears vs. Bulls can type it in the chat so I can sort of repeat it. But $308.40. We were just going long against that. So when we went long here at 65, 30 cents, so that's about 30, that's about 45 cents. So better than 1-to-1. We take out half. And then honestly, I thought the NASDAQ had a very good chance of running, and we were going to get this out anywhere near 310. So that's been the top, and I want to fade Microsoft. It's down today. Market is positive. We've talked about the relationship there over and over again and what we think of that. NASDAQ up 0.4, Microsoft down. So it's definitely a name that I'd play the short side on better than the long. We just got a good spot there to get for that ride. Now, if the ride turns around, then we will see some downside. So that's, as long as that's where my target is. I have that. It's funny, because I only have half a position right now, I actually have that stop order that both Neil and I do not trust anymore ready to go. Because now I'm sitting here. I have it on 3 symbols right now. I have it on Apple, Alibaba, and I'm going to put it on, I actually did not have it on Microsoft. So I'm going to put it on Microsoft right now and then talk about some more of my triggers. But I'm going to get triggered if it doesn't fill. So that's 308.40, a breakdown of that. Then we're going to get out of Microsoft. But for right now, we're going to hold on to this long against this bottom. So that's my idea for Microsoft.
Godspeed with that key. Honestly, I want it to consistently start working
right as we
again.
speak.
I want it to work again consistently because I like it. It's a stop order that we can, essentially will automatically throw out for whatever percentage of your shares you say. Like 20, well, it's not whatever. It's 25, 50, 75, 100, and then you can set it up that way. It's really good for scalp trading. I wanted to acknowledge Jason mentioning, we talked about we talked about NEO, we didn't talk about Li Auto in the last little bit. This is the strongest of the big 3 Chinese EV names. Okay, not really the big 3 because BYDs technically, they get more sales, but the ones that are traded here in the NASDAQ in New York. So $30, I don't need to tell you guys that that is a flat top break on a strong consolidation since they reported. And does it look good for a breakout? Absolutely it does. However, at 235 on a Chinese ADR, usually not the time I would take a break. I talked about getting out of PDD because the afternoons, they don't always move as much as you would like to see them move. So it's a great looking setup. Much rather see that break at the open than anything else. Just going to go to one name I did not mention, Coin, or we didn't really talk too much about the crypto names. So I was in Coinbase off of the 60 short. Here we go. So there's your 60 level, kind of the underneath support. Shorted it when it got there. In the consolidation, it stopped out the top, waited for it to get to 61. It got to 61, shorted the back end. But guess what's happening now? Now it's holding 60 again. So 60 has turned from resistance, from support, was like very muted resistance, and now it's right back into being the support level. So I think it actually looks like longs off this price. I'll probably trail it out here. I'm just double checking to make sure that I'm right about this when I say it. Yeah, we're still, 27.4 on Bitcoin. So it's holding, I guess, if you go back, like 2,700 is a big level, but 27.2 also is holding nicely. So as long as that's the case, I think that 60 has now turned into support there for Coinbase, and I'm going to have to respect it. If we get back down there again, I probably just bid out here. I don't even want to give this all the way back to the high now that I look at it.
All right, I'm just adjusting all my stops, and we can talk about them in 1 second here. But Disney, so we got out more Google there. That's a good one. That went to 85, so we got a piece out as it's dropping back down a little bit. A little bit nervous about that one. But shout out to Mickey and friends right now, because Disney, not a shout out to Ron DeSantis, I guess, here, but Disney trying to take out the top right now, 92.40. Trying to get it going there, but again, it's been a pretty disaster move over the last couple of days for Disney. Again, their streaming was an absolute nightmare. We talked about that would probably be the case. Okay, Google, come to the party. And I would just want to say, I don't think I want to short this name today, but can't. That's a good level, man. It was up here in the pre-market. We wicked around a little bit there. Again, that's not even at 8. Yeah, that is at 8 o'clock. Okay, Disney, we just got filled at 71 there on Google. Sorry, cancel. I don't want to get any more fills. That's a good fill. Okay, so right down there, this could be a decent short, but you see the fact is the market, and I'll show you that in a second, is flat here. I thought it was pulling back a little bit because Google, but Disney's holding out today. So I feel like you'd rather go long on this break than short, but I'm not really trading breakouts right now. So I'm going to back away from Disney, but thank you to everybody in the chat for bringing this up because it is rocking and rolling. And I know Neil is also. So congratulations to Neil. Congratulations to me.
116 is a long, I think, though, before we...
116, okay.
Well,
yeah, if we can get that low, dude,
we glossed
then,
this over.
I'd be one happy camper.
Just to come back to Alphabet here, because I like 116. Let me just do this with a 3-minute. Because you have this $2 channel here. So now 17 to 16 makes sense. So 116 half is holding now. I think if it breaks down, cover 116. And if it breaks that low, which is 115.85, that's where I take out the long. So I mean, like if it goes down there, I just want to be long at 16 into 115.85. We'll see what happens. You never really know. But Micron, yes, Hisham, I am still watching Micron. It is so strong that it's at a monster level on the daily. It's just, okay, let it get there. It's getting there. So I think it's about like 10 to 15 cents or like one good volume spike push up before this is where I like to short. Like you're still, to me, slowly grinding higher. I don't think you're in fear of missing a turn on Micron as strong as it's been. It should be able to press a little bit higher.
Okay, I have an update about our stop order. We are close to getting triggered on Alibaba. So if we break below 95 right now, it should trigger us. I'm expecting a 94 print to trigger this order. So this is good because we talked about Alibaba. We're $2 in the money on this name, and it just broke the 50 period. I was trying to give it a little bit more room. I don't even want to give it to the 200. If this market's going to come in, fine. That's 87. Oh, okay, now just... See, I'm mad now that it's going back up, and I'm long because I want to see, and I don't want to get triggered out at a bad price. So let's wait to see if it does fill. But Alibaba, I just want to give everyone an update. Just kidding aside, like I'm going to get out anyways, but hopefully that stop order does trigger, and we just bounced off of it right there. I wanted to give it to 88. So we'll give it a couple pennies lower than 88, which is why it's at 94. No magical reason at all for that trade. So that was one stop trigger that we're looking for. The other one, we're still ways away on that, was going to be down here for Microsoft. So hopefully that doesn't happen. And look at Softy. We're actually bouncing off VWAP right now. So that's going to be a good one. That little bottom wick there, 308.70, should have bought that for sure. Easy to say when it's back up here, but that wick bottom into like sort of a zone there. You know what? That happened too early. So actually, no, I'm not upset about that. I wouldn't have bought that probably on that. There it goes. Yes, sir. That's a good one. Bang. And thank you to Bears vs. Bulls, who said that the bet is Microsoft green or red. As right here, Google. There we go.
Up right now?
I'm taking out Google right now at 65 a little bit. Amazon, is Amazon going? It's too bad. Oh, damn it. We were just long, Neil, Amazon. So that's nice to see as that's going to the upside. We were long, and then we just got taken out.
I got good news and bad news.
Hopefully you're long. That's the only good news.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
The good news is coin broke the channel and I trailed out. It wasn't a losing trade. The bad news is that order did not fill properly, so I punched out manually when it broke.
Send that to...
That's fine.
Brankles or something.
We'll talk about that. Brankles is one of our floor managers. He's not here today. Greg is running solo today on the floor.
He ain't here today?
No, Brankles isn't in today.
Where's Brankles?
I don't know.
Come on, Brankles.
Greg's not even at the desk. Oh no, chaos. Everyone punch in max. Neither one of them are at the desk on the bridge. No, it's just the risk manager. One of them has a day off today. That's not a big deal. But I did just get out there. So I'm going to have a look at Microsoft. But again, like this is actually a fantastic bet. Because
it's the best bet.
This is probably the ideal bet. It's perfectly in the middle of the range on VWAP. The market is barcoding at the same moment. It's condensing in range. Like it is the ultimate coin flip. It's not going to get any better than that. All that said, in terms of if you're in a trade right now, that's one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like if you're in the trade, I'd rather see it get to the high than anything else. Like that would be the most exciting thing for me to get into it like right now. Oh my goodness. Wow. No, just the wicks on my 15-minute. You can kind of see here. So this is last week. It kind of rejected 310. You got that 310 top up there. I think it gets really spicy a dollar from now if the market hasn't broken the top, but that remains to be seen. Just trying to think which way I want to go here. Part of me wants to say with the market green and the ES to NASDAQ or trend up, right? So if it's a pure coin flip, I mean, that looks like an upward trend to me. Like that would lean into green. So I'm probably going to bet green myself. But on Microsoft, All that said, I probably would look to short 310 if it got there. So NVIDIA, I reversed in NVIDIA. I forgot to mention this, but I reversed from the short 87 into a long, and then it trailed me out here. I think it was a good trail out when it couldn't hold on to 288.50. Now right back to the high of the day. So NVIDIA could get to 290. That is a monster level for NVIDIA. If we get there, I think we want to respect it. I'll look for a short somewhere between that and 291. What will have happened first is Micron almost certainly will have gotten to like 64.5. I'm just looking for that one press. Because to me, if it's still valid to short till 65, it's a bit much to be short 64.30 when it's not doing ridiculous volume into this move. It's slowly creeping up on very light volume. So something needs to give, either one big push on volume into the top or something, or just something that gives a reason for it to make a bit of a turn. So the futures failing the high of the day could be a reason. Futures getting to the high of the day and going sideways and consolidating could be a reason, but it's not showing me a reason to just jump into it because it happens to be above 64.
Yeah, Micron. We're still long AMD, which is $1.25
Awesome.
in the money. Shout out to Steve M. I don't know what the well done and the claps are, but to 4. But if it's for any of the positions I'm in, then thank you so much for all of that, or just for being here. I want to thank you, Steve M, as well, because right now we're in 5 positions, and all of them, honestly, Apple, 50 cents in the money. AMD, $1.25 in the money on the long, 95.71 right now. I mean, we can sort of just zoom out here and see what's going on with all these trades. There's the long right there. Long here again, long there. We've actually had some great longs. That's still in that pocket right there for us. Alibaba does not trigger. That's a long too. From time is Alibaba a long right there. That's a good one. Google, hells to the yeah. I'm really happy with this one. Why? Because Google's a red name for me today. But we went right back to it, respected this level basically on the VWAP, came close to getting taken out. This short is 10, our out was 20. That's 10 cents worth of risk. Right now, in the money, 4-1 on this. 40 cents in the money, 10 cents worth of a risk. Talked about it when we put it on, so that's a good one too. And then Microsoft as well, same story. 50 cents now in the money for Microsoft as we get right back up here. We said we'd look at 310 as an area to get out for this one. So let's put our order somewhere around here. 309.78, 309.79. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions on. They're all there on the board. It's probably too many, but look what we have short. Apple short. This has been so good, man. Short early. We realized this weakness. We get in this one 9.45, so I feel like that was pretty good. Then we waited for a bump finally back to the 200 period, and we shorted again. We do not have that best out. That probably should have been taken out, but we're going to hold on to this as it continues to go. Google, again, short and out right there. And why did we get out? Because we had lost shorting it right here again. And why? We shorted that bottom break thinking Google had enough and it was coming back to the downside. Get out, absorb that hit, then right back down there to the downside here, making that money back. So far so good on Google, and we almost out of all of that. We have about 20% left on that short to begin with. But let's find some new names.
Coin's about to break. Well, okay, Coin's breaking the high of the day.
PayPal,
but
no.
this is why I got it. This is why we got it. Once you held that 60 even area, it broke the consolidation. There's no need to be in that short all the way back up to the high, to the top side. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like if it's going to break this channel up, it's very likely going to get back to the top and you're just losing an extra 30 cents for no reason. Now I need to see volume above this break. So 61 has to not just break, it has to hold above, consolidate above. Just give me some signs of strength to be able to chase this high. The better long right now would be off that 60 area. I'm probably done with the notion of shorting unless it breaks down here and can't hold 60 even again. And you are getting a decent move to the upside. I just looked over to make sure that Coinbase is, not Coinbase, sorry. We're still holding support on Bitcoin. That's still true. So you're still seeing some signs of strength over there in Bitcoin, but breakout on Coinbase is incoming. Upstart, real close to the reload zone for me. This one, a bit of a different story based on the level that we're working with. It's so far extended, and the fact that it wicked the exact same high, you know what, the 3-minute doesn't do that any justice. Let me go to the 15-minute. There you go. So a bit of a different story here. When you have that lower high after it had, the big, we'll call it gap up there after market, you reject 2050, you kind of hold that 20 even. I will give it a chance to be a short again off this 20 even area into that 2050. So I'm just looking, if it holds here at 20, I don't do anything except for wait for it to test 19 or lower. If it breaks 20 even and starts heading up, I'll look for a rejection of 2050 to add back into this, ideally between 20 and 25, and again play that short. It's just a significant enough price level the way it rejected last time, and it's up $4 from the bottom, up 20% today. So if the profit taking comes in, I want to give it some time to be able to work. So I'm not willing to give this one up just as easily.
I'm like just sitting here, my net just keeps on climbing and climbing, and I don't really know why. I mean, it's kind of, I guess it's just that they're all fluctuating together. It's more Google just went up into the 80s and fell back into the 70s, but that's, I'm trying to find a good trade for everybody. Okay, what's up to Renata? Airbnb, I'll look at that. Is it 3 days? Just find out when their earnings report was. I feel like it has been 3 days. If you do want to step into Airbnb, that's generally, I feel like it, so that was probably May 9th, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th day, yeah. I actually, Renata, honestly, on this level, I've talked about Airbnb a couple times, and I want to get into it. So, you know, the downside, you know what, honestly, I don't want to do anything now until I find out about this debt ceiling, because I wonder if you do get some kind of a panic sell if and when there is no deal, or apparently, and I'm just getting a lot of this from CNBC, but you know, the last time there was a deal, it actually flushed after that for a few weeks. Again, that was at 11 or 13%, depending on what index you're looking at for that flush. So I think it's great down here off of a bad number, but again, I don't, you know, any talk of recession or something like that, like if the U.S. debt gets downgraded even further, then I do, you know, worry about that. So that would be something. So it's a good question. Thanks, Renata. But I don't think I'm not putting anything to work anymore. I would even buy more Disney down here at 92, but I'm going to be hands off on that one, averaging into the 98 long that we already had. So that's already gone to the downside, which is why I was selling Google and Apple and Microsoft the last couple of days, and Meta. They're all pretty much, I don't know if I sold Amazon, but they're all pretty much at the highs right now. So it's not like I've made good decisions, but that's what I'm worried about. Okay.
AI is almost at 24 here.
AI, that might be a great name. All right, so Tiger Global just came out 6 minutes ago, adding, so again, a big fund, adding Google, Microsoft, boosts Google, Microsoft. They add to Apple, TSM, AMAT, PanW. This is the more important thing, reducing out of Snow, S? Sprint is gone. What?
Huh? No.
What took
it's
the
a new
S
symbol.
now? Oh, Sentinel-1.
Yeah, it's like a.
Okay,
yeah.
so they're getting out of that one. My dog takes Sentinel. Is that what that is?
No, they're like a cybersecurity. Aren't they?
Yeah. Okay,
What
Spotify. No, Sentinel's for. It's for like ticks and fleas, and like, so our dog is a very social dog, so goes to High Park
Gotcha.
all the time. Reduces Peloton. Okay, they should have maybe said exits on that one. What did they exit? There's a few other names here. I'm just running through names that we may know. XM. They exited PDD. I believe you were looking at that today. And then they also exited Roblox. That's Tiger Global.
I haven't looked at that today.
With a filing rate there. Those should come through now as it's the season. So, okay, so that's that. Alibaba still, man, good thing we didn't get taken out on that. That's right back up to the day's high. That's probably what's bolstering the net here, as that's been good. As Baba going to the upside, Google going, look at the shorts we have. Google, downside. Apple, downside. AMD, up. Baba, up. Microsoft, meh. How do I vote? I'm voting. You're damn right, New York Jets. I let my wife handle everything, including I just saw another $91 Walmart order go through, so that was great. Oh, yes, sir, Neil. One of that order just worked. I know you had a bad example there, but there it is right there.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I'm using it again then.
Try it, because it just
Well,
worked.
I just got into Micron. I'm going to use the
Okay,
order.
so good. So right there, we talked about the 50 period being pretty key. There is the clean exit out right now on AMD at 70 break. So 75 break. We actually wind up getting a decent fill on that too, Neil. We got 71 and change as it swipes dark pools and stuff. So 71 and change, not bad, because we're down to 61. So if that order did fail, I would have been upset, because we would have lost a little bit. But there it is. It does work on that trade. And here comes Google all the way down to 50 again. Oh, I did not get I thought I got my 50 fill the first time. I didn't. So right now we're actually at 52. couple more pennies down and we will be out of Google, but so far, so good on this move down.
So this is the first salvo into Micron as it just, the market got to that lower high, started breaking into the downside. Micron pressed to 64.40, 64.38 is what it got to, got in at the quarters, but I'm going to give it multiple shots here. So I'll give it the high of the day right now. If that breaks, then the next curl above that, until it gets to 65, I'll probably take at least 3 shots at it. Relatively tight stops each time, and I'll like it a little bit more. But I'm using that order where it's like I'll get it 100% if it breaks 41, or 40, I suppose, and prints 41. So that stop order's in. I can now go move over. I was going to get more upstart. Well, I shouldn't say going to. If it broke 20 even and then sort of didn't break 28 and a half, it doesn't really break 20 even, it just holds exactly at 20 and is slowly rolling to the downside. I have an order here in front of 19, so I want to make sure I work that one. Tesla, I saw rolling over a little bit. I know NVIDIA is starting to make a bit of a move to the downside. NVIDIA didn't quite get close enough to 290 to have been a short for me. Micron's at a monster level, that's why we like it. And then Tesla, I saw a few people saying Tesla was rolling over. Yeah, it's right back underneath VWAP. This was the area that I was shorting it all morning, underneath 160. Well, underneath 167, but essentially, starting from 166 even into 166 half, and then working the short there. So that was a big level last week in terms of support levels, and then it ended up being resistance when it broke. So we're back underneath that. I'm gonna look through the short from here to 167 on Tesla as the market again fails to follow through.
I just tried to bet red, like I
Hang on
forgot.
a second.
I forgot. I tried to bet red Microsoft, although Microsoft's right now is 0.10 and I'm long it. Wait a second. I don't want Streamlabs
But
to.
that means the odds will be better if you go green, because everyone will be betting red.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't even looking at the odds because last time, I don't know. We'll see if we did it. Well, Microsoft closed red. Just type my bet. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Watch the chat. My bet. Okay, so hopefully that will come out and we'll see what that does. But all right, so just an update now because I got enough of that 52, so we got a 56 there on Google. So if you want to get out with me, I just got out again. And look, 10 cents worth of risk. This trade now in the money, well, now it's 43 cents, but 60 cents. So we take that down there and we get 58 cents or whatever it is on that trade as it goes to the downside. I can't look at Streamlabs. I don't care. Bears versus Bulls. If it goes through, it goes through. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, so that's fine. Google making moves. I'm starting to get out of some of the trades, right? So AMD moved down. Seems like that's still not happening. Apple moved down fine. I don't even have a stop order on Apple, to be honest with you. This is in the money. I'm not concerned that this thing rips up anywhere near where we're in. There's 9 outs here. We have 10% left. I think Microsoft and Apple go back down to lows. Could be wrong on that. And then that's it, man. What about Amazon? Amazon really making some nice moves up. Is that going to be a short right here? Yeah, I mean, I'd rather it be up there. I'm going to pass on Amazon. What else you guys want to look at here? Oh, you talked about a name all of a sudden that I was like, yep, Roblox. That's a good one. What? Roblox? It wasn't Roblox. That was off that Tiger Global.
What else?
OMH.
Coin. Not OMH.
No,
OMH. OMH I paid for locates 5 cents a share for a stock like that. If it, on the off chance it got to 100. I'm assuming that stock's dead. Oh my goodness, it's all the way at 30? See, you can't go broke taking profit, although you're still in the money if you bought it from earlier in the morning. Chasing these up top is dangerous. Now it's really consolidating. The spread is pretty reasonable, but it wasn't that. It was something else. I got into Micron. NVIDIA's already curling, so it's too late there. Coin not sustaining the breakout of 61. What else were we just talking about? NEO was moving. Not really. Actually, NEO's not moving that much. Up 3%, but look, it's not moving now. It's up 3.5, but this is what happens to Chinese ADRs. They just kind of slow down at the end of the day. So I'm not sure what might have been. Micron starting to roll over. I have a bid just south of 64, and then we'll get one here at 63.60. Kind of make a decision at these last sort of consolidation zones. And then if it comes back up to the top, I'll add back into it, and then that stop order, which automatically adjusts to 100%, should work out just fine.
Should, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, yeah, good luck with that.
C3AI was breaking 24.
Good luck with that. I'm 1 for 1 today with that stop order. So
24.
C3AI. Oh, that's what it was. That was the name.
It hasn't broken 24. It's at 23.95, and it's consolidating. There's Not a lot of size up there. 45,000, 50,000 shares or so on the offer at 24. It's done 40 million, so that's nothing. But I got trailed out of this right in here and didn't want to punch long at the top. I'm kind of waiting for that parabolic move up, which would be from 24 to 25, I think, and then look for a retracement trade. Let me just make sure I even have locates on this. I think I would have paid for it this morning.
I was just going to ask you, do you need it?
Confirmed. Well, I have them, so either you don't need them or I paid for it this morning. So one of the two. I'm going to say I paid for it. That's
you
my
did
guess.
because I do not have them.
And when we say that, just when we say that, it means almost every symbol for us is easy to borrow, meaning you can go short pretty much whenever you want as a day trader. But some there'll be limited availability in terms of locates, meaning we have to pay for the ability to short. Sometimes it's pretty cheap, like less than a cent per share. Other times it can be a little bit more expensive. Like I remember one day HKD when it was going nuts. I'm pretty sure it was costing you, for 100 shares, it was costing you at least $300 maybe. I think it was even more than that. But that was like, it went to 2,500. So in some ways, that actually wasn't that unreasonable. If you're going to short the stock when it was over $1,000, you probably didn't care that you were paying a couple of dollars per share. But under most circumstances, I wouldn't pay that much. But yeah, so here's a little bit of a bounce in Tesla. I said I'm going to work the short underneath VWAP. So first available pop. Gets it back up here to 166.75. I just got 71s. I'll be out if it takes out 167, like 15 to 20, up in here above VWAP.
So Bears vs. Bulls just sent me this. Bears vs. Bulls is running the Streamlabs for us.
It's 50-50.
So, yeah, exactly. It's 50-50, 19-19. He's saying there's more bets coming in.
Why did I bet green then? Oh, I bet a green assuming people were going to bet red more.
Why not just bet what you think it's going to do?
No, because like the way the odds work on this.
Yeah, I know. But don't they end at the end of the day? The odds change.
Truly, they're constantly changing. So if 80% of the people bet red, then you get a better payout on green.
I know, but that's like, I mean, you guys still want to bet who's going to win. Like,
my fun for I want to be counter.
So, okay.
Look, man, if we really care, then you just take the position on the stock.
No, but I mean, I'm just trying to
I'm just trying to be able to be like, haha, what's up to 80% of you when you go the other way. That's all.
All right. I'm going red, even though I'm long the stock. So yeah, I'm going against
Literally only short right now, so it's
yeah. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. Everything is fine right now, but I still need to find another trade if we want to do something. What about AMD? We just got out of AMD. That's still doing absolutely nothing. Maybe there is a trade there at some point. You know a name? Let's go back to an oldie but a beauty, of course, for our show, and that is going to be Shopify. As Shopify, this is a stock that we did really well on the bump up. We really like that 65 short. We had it one of these days. I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, but that was a great pullback on Shopify, and it's still continuing to make a move down. I sold some of this in my own account because for a loss too. I just cannot believe the move that it had up. This was a $45 name just a week ago. Rips all the way to 65. We're going to take some of that out near the top, and we did do that. That was another name that we trimmed recently was Shopify, and we talked about that. So right now, that's just what it looks like there on the 5-minute. But I guess this is what we're looking at right now, a breakdown off VWAP again, and it's just right back into here. This coming into play doesn't look horrible off of this 60. I mean, it breaks short, and then you use maybe 61.80 there as your area, but Shopify's still up on the day. What is the market? This is probably a better long, actually, right now against 61.50. At 61.50, 61. Yeah, I like the Shopify long. Let's go. I'm going to forget about Alibaba. I don't have too many shares in there, so I'm going to change one of my level 2s over to Shopify. And then we're going to watch this. What is that bottom? 58s. All right. Sounds good enough to me. We'll take a bid right here in and around 62 if we can get that. And, of course, we put the bid, and then it just runs us over a little bit. And we are now in on this trade. Shopify long 62 against 50 doesn't seem like enough here for Shopify, but that's 43 right there, that downside. Again, we don't want to be in this for too long because I think the market's probably heading to the south side. We do have all of our stops in, so 61.40, not a bad area there for Shopify. So we'll look at that. Let's look at 61.40, 61.50 to get out of Shopify if we are wrong. This is a very starter position, so I will take some more if we do get down into that area, like sort of halfway through, and then get out if it takes out 45. So we'll go to like 61.50, then get out if it goes too much lower than that. But remember, Shopify, although it looks like there's lots of volume here, still a 2-penny spread and can move a lot. Just just like we traded Win last week when that was moving around. So watch out for Shopify down here. We're going to try a long, although I was trying to convince myself to find a short, but I just kind of like where this is right now on the 1 minute chart with finally getting back to VWAP. We respected it there. That was 35, dipped down 10 cents. So that's what we're going to do right now for Shopify.
So someone just asked in the chat there, I saw, why is Tesla down? I mean, it's been trending down is the only explanation I'll give you.
That's a crystal ball.
Yeah, it's like the why is to explaining post-fact, like why stocks move. It's kind of like I don't want to say it's a waste of time because you can always create a narrative, right? Let's be real. Like I can make some nonsense up and it's like after it's gone down, it's going to sound good because it's down. So any convincing argument is going to sound amazing because the proof's in the pudding, it's down 1%. But the trend has been to the downside. You're beneath the 50 period on the daily. You're making a set of lower highs. You just recently rejected, like last week, you rejected the 50 period as well. So it didn't just break the 50, it held underneath it. So the trend has been downside. Now, in this afternoon, like it broke that previous support level. So for me, it's back in the zone where I'm shorting it. I just got back in. That's all I'll give you. Maybe it's a bit of a trend thing. They sold off on what was thematically positive news, I suppose, that Elon announced a new Twitter CEO and then he can focus. A lot of people were dogging the stock because of that. So the fact that it sold off on perceived good news, this can be a sign of weakness as well. But I just find you're always rationalizing at that point. It's back beneath VWAP. It's back beneath the level I liked it short. So I just jumped in 166.7. It held the first range. Like the range is 30 to 40 cents on the back end here, and then the top we stop out just about that much above. If it wants to continue down, 66 and 65 are obvious levels. I'm going to rinse and repeat, shorting this up toward VWAP here. I do want something to the long side. I thought maybe coin was going to continue its breakout. That ended up not happening, at least for now. I don't want to completely write it off, but it does feel as if coin, it's definitely slowing down enough now that I look up at it that it's not an obvious long. And in some ways, I'm kind of wishing I was still in my short on Coinbase. But that's one where a lot of times you have a short that's good or a long that's good. It ends up stopping out. It's going against the grain. There's no point forcing it. It didn't hold above 61, but it's still putting in higher lows. Higher highs, higher lows as well. So the trend is pretty much unbroken, even if it did just reject 61 again. That's not necessarily the short I want to look for in the afternoon. I'd much rather something at a monster level on the daily like Micron, or Tesla, which is trending to the downside. Like, yes, it really does set up there, but if this was 63 or 64, these levels, it would be a heck of a lot more appealing. So I'm going to stay away from coin this time.
Tesla, I know you're on that one as well. All right, just good trading, obviously, there as well.
Pack
you
W.
your short ups are at 20. That's a good one. Your Tesla short's good as well. Okay, so some good shorts coming through right now.
Something happening on Pack W. Brendan's not there. I'm just going to see. Pack W is really kind of moving right now. Up 18%. It's through 5. It's continuing. There's good volume to this move as well. What's Barkin saying? I see no barrier to higher rates if inflation persists. Well, I
see no barrier to higher rates.
Well, obviously that's not why Pack W is going up,
the
Barkin.
opposite
So that's
for
like
them.
the opposite. So. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a technical break that it just got through 5 even here. I'm not seeing anything on the wire.
Or Shopify.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check Twitter out. See if I can find something.
Go ahead and do that. We're gonna take a dime right now on Shopify, just to get out a piece. Bang! There it is, right there. Spin the money there for Shopify. So again, another trade idea that we put there in our pipe, and we smoked Shopify back up to the upside. Let's wait to see if we can get something at the 50 period. Fine for 18 cents, and then we'll wait to see if we can get it back up to the 200 period right now.
So you were talking about Michael Burry before.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just reading a tweet, so don't at me, but I'm not being Brendan. I just see a tweet saying Michael Burry is betting on bank stocks, FRCB, Western Alliance, Pac W, NYCB. So this is from Investor Space. So Scion Asset Management is making a bet on several of those distressed banks. Maybe that's the reason why it's going up. I couldn't tell you, but that's all I see. This was like 7 minutes ago, and it times up when they started moving. So.
Very so cray. Someone in the chat says, "What's up to Aura Alpha?" Right now,
It's on brand for him, though.
we haven't done anything here, but I just wanted to call up some of these, beat up and already basically through the ringer names, including FRCB, which is right here. That's First Republic, not moving at all. But the names that are moving are the active names. And we just had SIVBQ up, which again is another one. So Silicon Valley, these are the two that sort of started everything, both getting absolutely annihilated and with no volume today. So that's interesting. You mentioned Pac West. We go over to Western Alliance and see if there's a bump up in that as well. As there it is, man. Look, man, like, honestly, follow right here, because there goes Shopify. It's another one. Shout out to DJ Khalid, because there it is right there, 61.60 long, out right there, 80s. So, well, we got 78s. So hopefully this can continue its move up already, as we just, you know, pretty patient, but that looks pretty. That looks pretty on the chart. We're down for painting that. Boom to the upside right now. Now we'll see, my next offer is going to be around those 90s here for Sir Shopify, as we found that name as a beat up one. I was actually going to look short, thought we'd find Shopify, but it was actually up today against the market, so relatively strong. Falls back to VWAP on the 1 minute. You know, and it's funny because we are going to have Brian Shannon on, who was talking all about anchored VWAP. We don't have that on our platform, but I am reading more and more. And in fact, I'm in page 3. So hopefully I can get lots of information from that book over the next couple of days. Like every time I sit down to try to read it, it's like, oh, don't have time. So that would be a good one. Hopefully tonight we have nothing scheduled, but like I said, I'm taking.
You got a free night tonight?
Yes.
No,
So I'm trying to hook up the barbecue. So that's going to be tonight.
I thought you usually had something Tuesdays.
Well, today is Monday.
Oh my goodness!
So that would be the
you know
reason
why?
why.
Okay, never mind.
My daughter starts
long day.
her 2023 hockey season tomorrow, May 16th.
That's
At the Ford Performance Center. So she will be there. That is where the Leafs practice. So maybe she can say what's up to those guys, because it's locker clean-out day.
when they're leaving.
Right now. So anyways, I've been there with her before, and I've seen John Tavares, I've seen Joe Thornton, and all
'cause they're
those
always-
guys walking around there. So that's pretty cool.
That's
to
a
do
name I
that.
haven't heard in a while. Joe Thornton.
Yeah, I think he's retired.
Yeah, but not too. He was a couple of years ago. He retired.
Yeah, maybe even last year.
It was recent enough, but obviously he's not.
But it is
playing anymore.
barbecue season.
It is See, now it's barbecue season, because you always talk about some people will barbecue in Canada when it's cold. I'm not necessarily one of those people. Sean is, and more power to them. I don't like grilling if it's too freezing cold out there. Someone's got to do it.
I have the
someday,
cast
but
iron that I put on the stove as well. So that's
we like to roll that. That's just a little bit more reasonable.
That is more reasonable, yeah.
Because when it's really cold and you feel like grilling some meat, quite frankly, I'm not trying to freeze my butt off. However, just one thing on Wall. I showed you guys Pac W. Western Alliance, this was grinding higher before that Bury stuff. And watch out, like this is $32 on the daily for Western Alliance. Like this was already moving. Like forget about any nonsense that happened 7 minutes ago, Scion betting on them or not betting on them. This was making a big break in a recovery into a monster level at 32 the whole way. So I could see a bit of resistance just because it's such a monster level on the daily chart. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that stop order works. I was greedy. I didn't take 30 cents on Micron, and now it fills me for the rest up here in front of that top. I think it's going to work. I mean, it worked for you. So if we break out the top, then I'm out of this. The market does seem to want that upside.
For the first time.
That was earlier, and it was on a different stock, and it was on the New York. So this is on the NASDAQ. I think
That might be the key.
we'll see. I don't know. But again, I have the level 2 up, and I will punch out manually if I see it break out and doesn't fill me. You might lose an extra couple cents there, but there's no reason. It worked twice for you. So Upstart is now above that 20 level. I'm looking for the curl in here. Then we'll go roll out of it. NVIDIA's testing the high of the day. Where's Coin? Is Coin going to break that top? No, it's not. Okay. I thought Coin was turning into a long, and as the market goes up, now all of a sudden Coin doesn't want to go. Like I'm not short it. I'm looking for a long opportunity, and this doesn't want to take out the top. Not a lot of volume there. Of course, SoFi is still going. Obviously SoFi is still going. Why don't you just keep going, SoFi? Just break $5. Why don't you? It's not really moving enough that it's worth a trade up here, but I did make the bottom wick, or at least close enough to it. Palantir, people are saying, is making a move here. I see Jennifer, Radley, both mentioning Palantir. I know it bounced off 9. It was testing 950. It's through 950 now. It's not really.
Barcoding, but it is a nice
Yeah, it is a decent top, but again, it's not really moving here. Okay, I mean, Micron's at the high, so I'll be working that one off the top and probably giving it a couple shots. Upstart as well is at that zone. I did get some out there when it flushed to like 1960. but it's at that part where it's going to run the highs. Well, it probably runs the highs, and if it rejects it, I want to get back in on the way down. Just to remind everybody, the reason I like it at this level should be obvious on the gap up. It broke the same 20 level, rejected 20.5. So if it does this move for a third time, then I will get in for a second time.
Another piece out on Shopify if I can here for that 18 cents again. If we get something upside, it just seems to be bouncing around right now, and I'm not. Yeah, my mic fell. Thank you for that, Mahad. As the mic just fell.
It's those reliable clips that we have.
Yeah, this shirt is kind of a bit flimsy. Okay, thanks for that. Hopefully that sounds better. I apologize. Thank you, Mahad, for that. Okay, so what else did we want to talk about? Oh, yeah, that's what it was. So Shopify, hopefully we can get a fill there. That'd be nice. And then Alibaba, I adjusted my stop because I'm just going to try to respect the 50 period again. So right there, that's 14 or 15. So if it breaks below, that's 15, then we're going to get out. It's $2.30 in the money. We still have a piece on board here from the open trade. Shout out to Reliable Rudy there on the chat as well, as he was talking about holding this to 88. Wish we would have, man. My best out is 87.30. So if I have an 87.40 out, remember, these are good longs from 86. So that's still $1.40, but we didn't take anything out up here. So even if it drips down and I take it out up to 200, I'd still feel bad because you never want to leave money on the table, especially if you get like a feeling that that's what you're doing. So definitely try to get some out right there. But you know what, man? I'm glad to be wrong. So, that got to 309.60. Glad to be wrong so far on Microsoft because this is the only trade that I've put on this name today. And yeah, as the net keeps going up, it's Microsoft actually leading the way up there. We just ticked it out to 309.50. Microsoft now turns green on the day, so that's nice. It was red pretty much, not for the majority of the day, but it was red early, got going. Yeah, but it was one of those ones that we were questioning why the NASDAQ wasn't going. And it was because Microsoft and Apple were both sort of staying red. But right now it is starting to break up a little bit higher. That's 309.50, 309.60. And I was still waiting for this level. So do we just adjust it and get it out on the 50 period rate now again? For that, that's 309.10. The 200 is right there as well. It's 314 already, man. I'm still feeling the short, but Google's 50 cents in the money, Apple's 50 cents in the money, and Apple's going back up to the upside. Oh, man. All right, like I'm short Apple, long Microsoft. I got to figure this out because not everything's going to win. And that's why my net is kind of just like going like this. And if it ever moves dramatically, I know something's moved a little bit outside. And I feel like right now that was Microsoft moving all the way to 309.50 because right now it's back down. Okay, so this is the right one to get rid of. I'm almost convinced of that now. Let's get out of Microsoft if we can get a 309.50 fill, honestly. I put a stop to get out of this. Breaking flat, actually, is where I put it. I feel like I a little missed up there. All right, 309.40, we're going to get out of Microsoft. This is dropping a little faster there against the market. So 309.40, out on Microsoft. May we regret it? We may, but we're going to do that anyways. That's my new trade target for MSFT. Let's just take out 50 cents. We're long at 67, so it'll be 80 cents if we can get that. So that's good. 309.40, let's put an offer there. Maybe it rips up and takes us out.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at Tesla. This is the one that's probably working the best. It just broke 166 very briefly, and then kind of tried to come back to the upside as the market went up. So that feels good. If it pops up, I think I want to, continue the short on Tesla. Again, just sort of separating what's going to work and what's not going to work. I like the level on Upstart. It's not really pressing to the high of the day. Like last time it came here, it's like look at that crazy wick top. Like that's a reversal entry for me. It's not doing any of that up here. So if it needs to move soon, or I just take this one out altogether because now it's not, like when you get this wick, it's supposed to work and then maybe play into VWAP, and it kind of did. This level again, it's not doing that same run stops up at the high of the day, so it's not giving you a reason to get back into it. And Micron here, almost said Mullen, that's weird. Micron, this will be binary, like it just takes out the high of the day and I'll get out of it. I'll be at this level all week until it breaks 65. I just think it's going to be worth it to short these levels up there. And then the last one, you already mentioned, Alphabet. It just seems like it wants to hold out, wants to hold this 166 half level. So, that support has been there pretty much all day. I'm going to respect it in here. If I think 166 is a long, 116 is a long, and it wants to hold a higher low 166.5, then I will sort of concede and just try to get out of that one. So I'm out of it. Micron, that key did work. I had confidence in it. I mean, if it worked for you, it worked on a NASDAQ for me. So it broke that high of the day. We took our in pretty much off of that high, Now I'll look for a press above 64.5 into 65. And as long as we're underneath 65, this close to 65, I only want to be thinking short when I look at that level from the daily. Oh yeah, C3AI, that was the other one. It just now tried to take out 24, sorry, it did take out 24, got to 08, and has rejected it. Not crazy movement, there's no Huadunk or anything, but it did just wick up to 08s. Not really exciting enough to play a short. Plus, it's very similar to the Upstart level as well. But yeah, that could be one where if I was still long it, I might be considering taking it out if it can't hold above 24 even. So down to 3 shorts as the market is trying to get higher. With about 10 minutes till we get the early look on the imbalances, I don't expect anything crazy there. I'm looking over at NVIDIA, that's not moving too much. There was something else. Now it's going to bug me. There was something else that I was talking about or looking at. It's really going to bug me. Oh, it was like Coinbase that I was trying to. I wanted this to be a long breaking out the high of the day. This one doesn't seem like it wants to go. If I was going to take a long off a support level, it would be 60. So long at 61, giving it $1 at 319 is not a recipe that works. It would need a heck of a lot of upside for that to be any good. If it was down here, maybe I'd take a shot scalping it long. But it's either break of the high and then give it a tight stop, or wait till it gets down to 60 even for me.
I still feel like SoFi might be a short. I just don't. It's still down 5%, guys. Do we have to pay?
5 maybe.
Do we have to pay for shorts on that?
SoFi, I don't think so.
Okay, I'm going to go short then.
I think SoFi is usually. Well, I don't,
wow, AI did.
I mean, it might be. We don't usually have to pay for it. That's all.
All right, well, let me try. Nope, it's good. Okay, so we don't have to pay for that. So that's good. All right, so we're going to go short. I'll talk about that in a second. We just got out some 70 here. You know, SoFi ran to the 50 period off VWAP. That's generally, you know, the best it can go. But again, I thought green name, we did have a chance to get to the 200 period, so now we're out of 60% of this. We're going to wait to see if it does take down 50 into where we get out. So we'll average back in if it does come back down to here, but let's just take the profit out and then wait to see what does happen here with Shopify. So that's coming back in here. Just to look. Yeah, I'm still happy with that. Our out's still going to be, I don't know, it's a little bit lower than 50. It's here in the 40s. So let's wait on that. I'm not as convinced of this because of the failure there. And again, if you're just going to be following what I'm doing, or all of us, that's why I want to explain it as best as I can. Comes into VWAP, retraced to the 50 period, then a couple, you know, hung around here for about 5 or 6 minutes, then didn't take it, now dropping back down. So if we now can't hold this, it's not looking good for Shopify to the downside, so that's why we're going to get out of some more. We only have 40% left. We essentially will reload it and then come back in for that soon. So that's what that's all about there for Shopify. I feel like it's getting chillier in here for some reason.
It's getting
right now.
really cold. In here as far
So
as
the AC has been blasting
Unnecessarily so.
Unnecessarily so. Okay, Microsoft, did it actually get up to there? Oh, do not. It went to 39. I'm at 40 on Microsoft, so hopefully that will come in again there because we should have been out there on that move back up. So I, was looking at it, was watching it sort of go back and forth, thought for sure we'd get the fill, we didn't. 39 it goes to, and we're at 40 there for Microsoft. So should we put our order a little down? Maybe we shall. What's up, Greg? Coming over here, checking out on some of the guys there.
Market's going up. Greg changed out of the red sweater.
Yeah,
but I just got out of Alphabet. That consolidation, again, it just kind of held at 166.5. So it pressed up, came back down there, held it again. So I just got out of it. Upstart, I'm giving it to that high of the day. I'm not adding to Upstart unless it makes that failure at that high. But I think it's still valid between 20 and 2050. So we'll hold on to Tesla because that was the one that felt like it was trending down the best. But I'll be out of this. We have 9 minutes to go till the early look on the imbalances. Could always change. Could decide that I like some of these again, but Tesla just feels a little bit weaker on the day than Google. Not by a lot, but I'll pick that one. If I have to reload something into VWAP, it'll be Tesla for me.
So I missed that SoFi 82. We had to get 81s right there on SoFi. So we actually have a new position alert. Short SoFi. But okay, man, Chef is in the building again as we start to barbecue up Microsoft, and we're out of that one right now. So yeah, we actually did not get our 40s. We got 38. We waited for that, and of course, now that it's at 45, we would have got the 40 fill. But there it is, one long there at 68, out at 38. So that's 40 and 30. That's 70 cents clean right there on that trade. So pretty happy to take that, put that in our pipe there as Softy continues to be another one for us here today as we've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now 9 positions today, and we're going to be red on Google. So that's as Google's coming back up right now. Good thing we got out a majority of those at the bottom right there, and wow, we talked about taking that 50 fill. We got 56. That's looking pretty good right now. But Google's coming up to a reload position as well. Here's the SoFi trade that we just put on. 81. We missed that 82 fill. Still not the end of the world. I just feel like if we take, like we're sort of right here right now. That little level right there is 93. I could see myself holding this 10 pennies against me. Is it 10 pennies back? Yeah, sure, why not? 70, 71, I feel like that's a good opportunity right there. What just filled? Nothing, okay. All right, we're gonna wait for that one to come in again. We wanna get some more SoFi short. Again, we'll see where it goes. I don't know where it's gonna go. So that's the trade for us now. On SoFi, we're gonna give it up to 90. If it breaks 90, then fine. So we won't average in at 82. We'll average in a little bit higher than that, maybe at that 85, right where we were. That is 93, so that high is, yeah, okay. We'll take an 84, 85, and then bring it up here to about 92, 93 if we're gonna be wrong on SoFi. Otherwise, let's get it out if it comes down to 73 or so. Probably some 75s, then some 73s. Try to get that about to 1-to-1 on SoFi, but not really moving around. But Shopify did make a nice move as that went back to the upside again. So far so good on some of these afternoon trades, but not much happening, so.
Secret Treasures
Yeah.
just said, and I like this, we love giving back here, so I'm going to read this one out. I've learned so many things from you, I would like to give something in return. Never short a stock with an RSI over 50. So you know what's interesting is I've actually used RSI in the past, and I think everyone has to lock in on what works for you, what doesn't work for you as it comes to indicators, certainly. So you want to be able to respect that. I tend to find you're going to jump into things that, again, like a setup that works for you that you're like, if I take this 6 times out of 10 or 7 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10, whatever, it's going to work out. But then there'll be some other strategy that also was profitable. Well, in this particular case, based on this indicator, okay, this short shouldn't work for you. But if you don't, like if I don't use RSI here and I'm just playing off the levels, then that's how that's how I want to work it. Again, I've used some of these before, and I don't think I wouldn't discount any of that. A lot of times you can find that these things will be like ebb and flow. Like maybe you're using RSI for small cap gappers or low floaters, and it's working really well as an indicator for you for like 6 months, and then that shifts for another 6 months, and they come back in vogue. So you'll want to have a little bit of that ebb and flow. But I've never really used it a lot of times for like counter trend playing off of big levels or like a wick setup. I don't know if you're referring to Upstart in particular. I'm just on this chart because that's where my next decision is going to be. It's on Upstart. Like you're at that high, it's either reject the high and I'm playing off this supply zone or not. Right? If it rejects the high, I'm looking to get back in or add back in what I took out. Otherwise, it just takes out the top and I get out of dodge over there on it. But thank you very much. We appreciate it. And one of the things that's awesome about this channel is that we all are a big community and everyone's just trying to get better on an everyday basis, right? So risk to reward, have a plan of action, be willing to learn, all of those things. And as I say that, also,
Hola, like and subscribe today.
And Katrine was eating maybe the most deliciously looking egg sandwich. Like I turned around and it was like ridiculous. So she sent me the place. It looks fire. They've got like this, never mind. They have this like lobster one too, which is absolutely delicious. So thank you very much for that. There she is. Kat, she's always working hard. She hasn't even finished it. She hasn't taken another bite of it. That's the one.
Sort of an egg
It's
sandwich
hard.
there.
It's hard for you guys to see. You got to zoom in. It's on brioche too. Oh.
Yeah, that's all. Whenever we have burgers and stuff, we just grab the brioche.
It's
next
if you're gonna
level.
do it right.
The next level
Yeah,
experience.
do it right.
Okay. Yeah. Look, we're really happy with the trading today. I can't say that enough times. That's why I said it 3 times right there. So Yeah, SoFi is not moving. I don't expect that to move anymore, actually. We talked about that a little bit. Shopify making the move down. We'll have to watch out for that. That's really the only questionable trade right now for us, and it's just right back to where we were. We're already at a 60% of that, and maybe this trade was a little bit short in the tooth. I mean, this may not work out here. Shopify pulling it back down. Apple 45 cents in the money. Alibaba, like, wow, this name just keeps on trucking. 24, 25 break. The lines aren't moving too much right now. We could save ourselves a little bit. It just made another move up to 40. I'm still going to use 15 as my out, and that's close enough to the 50 period right there. Well, 23, you know what? I'm okay with actually sending out a flat order for Alibaba at 88.23. I feel like that could be good. The dip down there was 29. That's the level right there, 23. If we're just going to keep watching this all the way up, it's just giving us more and more pennies. We also did have some kind of a dip opportunity there. All right, how about just a break of 20? We will get out on that and see what happens. So all I have to do is just, you know, put the stop price right here, and I'm going to go 88.18 and push enter. Oh yeah, okay, that's why. Yeah, script failed because I already had my other stop out, but we sort of, we know about that. So 88.18 right now. All right, accepted, trigger set, it says, and 88.18. You just saw me put it in live right there on the show, so that's going to trigger me out of 100% of what we have left for Alibaba as we're just letting the day sort of settle down right here. Brendan's at the desk. He's going to give us the update for the imbalance locator, and when he does give it to us, what Neil and I are going to be talking about, of course, is right here, as this will load up. Not now. This is all from earlier. Anything that's halted, like VNTR must have halted at some point today, or doesn't even exist. That's not Aritzia. Those are warrants. Was Aritzia moving around today? But anyways, warrants, all this kind of stuff is all in here. But at 350, it will blow up with names that we're very, very familiar with. And as you can see, all the other ones are here from 930. So we're going to have to wait to see what's going on with all of that, including, I just saw NIO on here somewhere. There it is. With some leftover bids today on the imbalance locator. So, yep, everything's all good right now. The only thing we could really do is check out on Microsoft. That was our last out. Seems to be right there, right in the same spot, so that's all good. Or Alibaba, you saw me put that order in. Google, good out for us. Still our biggest position. I mean, SoFi is our biggest position by share size, but just by notional, I guess, Apple and Google are kind of dancing around the same amount of shares here. So short Apple, short Google, both 150 cents, 130 cents in the money. And then Baba's 250 long.
So I just got out of Upstart. It is 3:30, and we'll get to the early look on the imbalances in a second when we get it from Financial Juice. But it just wicked the top. I got out. If I want to be into it, it has to fail this level, so it needs to reject. It's not. There's no velocity on the pullback right now for like an auto play. Tesla was the one I decided I wanted to hold on to the short. It is continuing to. I mean, it's holding 166 right now. But what I like about this is that the market is barcoding at the top end of the range. Tesla's barcoding at the bottom end of the range. So it's pretty simple. Either we break down and we get 165, or if it breaks back up, you know, I likely end up trailing this one out. It just feels a little bit more confident to hold on to this, as it's not really trending to set upside. We'll see what's going on with a couple of other names. I know that's one of those small caps. It's whatever the heck it was called. What is it? Not GSIT. It was the other one. It was dead. Pretty much donezo. What the hell was that stock again? I already forget it because it was so useless. You know, the one that went to $50 today. It was
OMH.
It was OHN or ONH.
Yeah.
Anyways, the last time I looked at that thing, it was down.
OMH.
OMH. It was down at like $30, and I think it's it's down at $30. It just did a couple of up and downs at that 30 level, so it's holding the top end of the. It's holding this consolidation, but you know it's still on that downward trajectory. The good thing about this, if you happen to be long, that this halt here where it really broke out from the pre-market high, that was a 28 halt. And then it broke out from 28. And then it's been holding 28. So 28 to 30 seems like a, for lack of a better term, I hate the term supply zone for a stock that doesn't have a lot of liquidity, but quite frankly, I guess it's at least support. There's no bids or size down there. Like if you were to look at it, it's not like anyone's bidding more than 1,000 shares at those levels. However, it is a pretty good technical level for it to be holding, which means it might not be done just yet. Worth at least a look, cursory look tomorrow if it happens to be holding 30 and there's a structured long that you can take. So my eyeballs are going to be on Tesla. maybe another salvo and upstart. It might be too late in the day for Micron, but Micron, it's slowly creeping up. The difference, like I got into Micron at this level because it gave me a reason to, as it started curling at 64.40. At this point, there's no reason to get in unless I see a turn at 65. So it is still creeping higher. Up 6% today at a pretty big level on the daily, as you guys can see here. Not something I would chase up at these highs, given what's happened here the last 6 or 7 times we've been at this level.
Yeah, Micron, Intel, AMD, a couple of the chip names that we've traded today. And yeah, not bad today, not bad at all for those names. Okay, so what name is not working out right now that could potentially get dropped off in just a matter of seconds here is Shopify. This is why we did take some profit. It's broken below everything now, so I do expect to get hit. You know, there's VWAP. We tried it one more time, just in a little bit of a slow market. So as sort of expected right here on Shopify. But you know what? Our net's actually going up. And you might say, well, how is that even possible? How is that possible? I mean, we just take, again, it's only a $5 name and not moving. But we went over to SoFi. We're short 81. We talked about that. There's a 76 fill. It's not like it's super sexy or anything like that, but it's 5 cents, and it adds up at the end of the day, so we'll take 20% out, and we'll wait for like a 73, 74 fill. And I don't mind if I plant purple flowers here all the way down, man. Just keep on taking some fills here on SoFi and see if we can't handle that on the downside. It's only 150 million to buy. Thanks, Brendan, but he has something else. What's up?
Yeah. Now we can try. We were supposed to get these comments from Bostic at 3 p.m., but they're coming through right now, so a little bit late. Seems like the reaction to the overall market is actually higher. Bostic saying he is in favor of a hold on or pause to interest rate hikes for the next meeting. Not much of a reaction there, guys, but there was some volume that came in when these comments came out.
Okay. Worth noting.
Yeah,
I mean, oh, you know what's interesting? There's some. I mean, this is a day today where, like, the ES, I mean, it's been lagging the NASDAQ, but you're at some pretty big levels in the S&P 500 as well. But quickly, C3AI is through 24. It's a little bit late in the day to think about this area here for a reversal, like 24 to 25 on the daily. It looks pretty darn good, but you know, this is what's happening going into it. I don't know that I see a trade with like 25 minutes left here, unless it makes a big spike up. Like if there's one last like parabolic sort of candle getting into 25 and then it wicks it, I pay for locates on the off chance that happens. I'm just not sure you're going to be able to see that. But the ES today, I'm just noting a few names that made some 52-week highs. Pepsi did well. That's AI. Trailed out of that one. But the NASDAQ, strong. The ES, it's like every single day you see it lagging. But there's some good, strong S&P 500 names which have been trying to make some moves up. I just sort of feel like this will be like an Apple story. Like if Apple decides to participate tomorrow, then the market's going to have a much better chance of breaking out. And you look to those weak ES names as maybe a bit of a litmus test, right? So you know, if we don't get enough strength out of them, and you happen to be trading the futures or things that are following the futures, just understand why we're not really going any further here. There's plenty of strong names, and when you look at the Qs, when you look at the chips, when you look at a lot of the tech names, but you know, the ES lags. You know, you're not seeing the greatest day out of Tesla. You're not seeing the greatest day out of Apple here today, and that could be the reason why. Tesla refuses to give a reload at this point, but at the same time, like it happens to be working. Now breaking channel to the downside, so it didn't really get up to get us anything at VWAP here. But I think we get down to 165, and then we just take this one out. It held 165 like 3 times, or technically more like twice, depending on how you want to look at it. There was a break of 65 that reestablished. I'd call it holding the level 3 times, but there was one little break. So I'll get out at 165 if it gets there.
So I do want to shout out to T Daddy in the chat there. He said, dude,
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, Trick Daddy. He said, dude, your Shopify call was great, and he banked on it. So congratulations on that. We'll go bang for that. And then here I am talking about, I'm sorry about the trade, and it's in the money. This Shopify trade. SoFi's in the money for sure. But this Shopify trade now goes back to 55. So back into the money right now on Shopify. We talked about getting out at 40 if it breaks. We're going to get a little bit better than that. Here it comes. It's a nice move to the upside right now for Shopify. And there it is. Did we get that fill? No, we did not. Waiting here at 59, but it has blow through it right there. There it is.
Awesome.
All right. So yes, Trick Daddy, I take it all back right now. We give you another banger here, hopefully it will continue to go up. All right. Google's really starting to piss me off a little bit here because, it's just not going anywhere. The market's bouncing. The market's also not really going anywhere. But that's, yeah, where did we get out of Microsoft? That's probably going to be a flat trade, so that's okay. I mean, that's not a flat trade. That's an 80-cent winner. Thank you to everybody for that one as well. Alibaba, though, we are getting close. 88.18 for only a $2.20 winner, but that is our target right now for Alibaba to the downside. Again, traded 8 names. We'll go 7-1 today. Okay, what's up to Dr. Strange? I like that right here. Always listens whenever I talk about Mr. Softy. Good job right there. You booked the long. That's a great trade there. Thank you. But again, I'll take all the credit, but it's not me, man. You guys are the one hitting the keys. I put on a couple of trades, good trades today, and I'm glad that some of you tailed them. And, so far, SoFi, good on that, as we just got a 75 fill on SoFi. So there we go. That's a nice 6 cents to the downside. So whatever you want to put on, that's like an all-you-can-eat smorgasbord of stock. You get filled with however many shares you want on SoFi. So I hope you did that. Apple's literally not doing anything, as my kids say, Dad, literally not doing anything. And Shopify, trying, man. We're going to get another piece out at 66 if it goes back up, and then we'll see some 70s, hopefully, and return to prominence there for SoFi today. Unfortunately, man, my scanners aren't really popping off right now.
I mean, the only thing's moving.
Tesla, they keep saying, is moving.
It is, but it's relatively weak, so it is moving to the downside.
I can look at Tesla.
But like AI is going, but it's creeping up so slowly.
25 yet? No.
No, it's not. If it was at 25, I might put a trade on. Still 20 minutes left to go, but it's creeping up so slowly. It's not giving you a setup. So I did jump out of Upstart. Then it did what I was looking for. So it wicked out. I didn't want to be adding to it at that particular point until it rejected that high, and then the first consolidation underneath. So there's enough time for it to set up again. That's exactly what happened. If you happen to just be tuning in, this is the reason I like it. It's at a level where I think you can pull back in at 1950. Has to get through 20 first. I think that's probably a scalp trade in front of 20, just because of the time of day. That'll be about at 1-to-1 to the high of the day, and then we'll see how far it can go. I mean, the market is going up, and I'm looking for something. I thought it was going to be Coinbase, could be a breakout trade because it's squeezable, but that short, I ended up getting out of the short because it felt like it was too strong. And really, the short at 61 has just been continuously good. So, should have maybe stayed with that one a little bit more. It felt to me like with the market creeping up there and Bitcoin holding, that could have been a good reversal into the long side. Just it never set up for the long. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. If I thought the short was no good, it was too strong, the best I can do is get out of it and not get into a long because it never actually gave me the breakout of that high. So we'll move on to Coinbase. I think it's at a good level for tomorrow, and I will be back on Micron tomorrow. It's now, I don't know that there's enough time for it to work off 65 here. I'd be surprised if 65 broke this late in the day on the daily, but this is a pretty strong beast today. It just comes down to where that, and this is the other side of the equation. I should say this. If you peel back far enough on this level in the daily chart, you do get some breaks of 65 into 65.5. Like the day this thing takes out 66, I think it's a long. So I know I'm talking about, every time it gets to this level, you short it. But if it breaks 66 even, I'm just going long that day, quite frankly, assuming you get a chance at it. Sometimes they gap above levels like this and you can't trade it, but I'd assume we get a chance to trade this one on Micron. Let's go to Brennan at the desk.
There was a volume alert there, guys, on Coinbase downside. Apparently some outage right now. Some people having issues trading on Coinbase right now, apparently.
Like that happens more, I don't know. You see these little outages or they pause every now and then, and it's not that uncommon. But I feel like it's rejecting 61 just as much as that.
Everyone always thinks it's something to the extent of oh my God, they're pausing deposits, or they're not allowing for withdrawals, something like that. So you have to watch out for Coinbase making.
It's not doing a ton of volume now.
Right there, so no. Not doing a lot of volume there for Coinbase, but we will definitely have a look-see at that. And by the way, while you're gone, Shopify still, let's take a dime. There it is. We'll take a dime on that one. It goes up to 63 right now. So yes, sir, Trick Daddy, you are right.
Awesome.
Because right now that is appearing to have been a good idea. Oops, just knocked over the bull there. Although
the bull is now standing up. The bull was
the bull
was sleeping before.
I'm amazed that we're able to, both you and I, Sharif, everybody, and everyone in the chat too, like the NASDAQ right now, this is for 2 hours. Like it's at the same level now that it was 2 hours ago. But hey, that happens all the time, right? It moves up and moves down and comes back. But this didn't really move anywhere. We went down about 5 handles and up about 10 handles. Like, you know what I'm getting at? It's not really doing anything. So that's why really happy that just in the last hour and a bit, we've been able to do quite well on this market, especially coming from the midday show over to here. Max was doing a great job as well. I know Max just sort of got in the building, so we didn't have too many trades at that point. But okay, Alibaba, about to get out of this, man. We were just going to tweet it out, and we talked about that earlier, and we tweeted this before, that we were still pretty happy to still be long off of it, off this 85 entry spot. But yeah, at some point, man, it's going to come out. Oh yeah, here's us drinking, by the way. Yeah, what's up? Oh yeah, here's my wife. This is what I said when we were out drinking. Sean says if I just keep drinking vodka soda that I won't be, see, not even spelling hungover right, hungover, because water. Yeah, 9 a.m. hockey.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yeah, so vodka with water. It turns out true that also Sharif was drinking vodka waters there. So that was good, vodka soda water. Not bad. Tonic water is a little bit of sugar there in that. Soda water should be okay. So we'll continue to watch that. Downside, Tesla breaking lower. What else? I'm
trying to show something here, but like my volume, like watch, I'm pulling my volume chart up so you can see volume extended, and then it won't stay.
Drop it a little bit.
Watch.
Stop.
I go there.
There we go.
And then it keeps on disappearing. But anyways, I guess you can't make it too extremely big, which is ridiculous. But I want to make it as big as I want. But the volume on this today, I know we're buy side overall, but above, since we broke that 13.3 level, it's been sort of abysmal volume above that level. Maybe it's just a sign of dwindling volume overall, but it is worth noting, like above that price, we're not really trading a heck of a lot. When we get to that price, you get volume spikes every single time we test 13.3 on the NASDAQ. But underneath it, man, and I shout out to everyone that's saying volume's lower, but just noticing that trend. Like above that price, we're not getting a lot of volume on the NASDAQ futures. And when we get to that price, you see a big volume spike testing it. So it's a good line in the sand. As a matter of fact, at some point, I get rid of this other line.
Stop order work, dog.
It worked. I'm telling you, it didn't work once for me, and I think it's absolutely fine again. Like I have it in right now for Upstart. I think it'll be just fine. What I love about it is it allows you to scalp out of some of your position and not worry about having to reset. Oh, I have to adjust my stop for the remaining shares left. That's what I like about it. 5 minutes until the imbalances. It's a small 150 to buy. I'm assuming it's still that. Probably doesn't matter too much when you get an imbalance that small, but we'll see what happens. If it ends up reversing into like a sell, I mean, it wouldn't take much for the ES to maybe go red here. The NASDAQ, are we really going to drop 0.5% when we haven't been moving? I'm not sure. Just want to update PAC-W. Glad I didn't chase this thing because the only note we could see was that Michael Burry might have been, I don't know, I saw a tweet and it just said something about Michael Burry investing in some of those banks. Well, it got up to 550 and it's right back at $5. So the point at which it made that break when that tweet came out, if you bought there, you're exactly flat. And if you chase the move, then you've lost. So I wouldn't blindly chase any move, but I don't think that's enough to sustain a late day rally because Scion Capital happened to potentially been buying a couple of these names. Western Alliance was strong regardless, so it's probably doing just fine. Probably running out of time here for Upstart. And the setup is the setup, but if we only have 15 minutes left, maybe it doesn't have time to go, in which case I'll have no choice but to tighten the stop and just maybe get out wherever it happens to be. If it's only 10, 15 cents, then maybe I got to do that. But I'm going to trail this tighter and not to the high of the day because we are at 350. Always tighten up my stops at that time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing, almost the exact same thing right now. I'm actually going to take a piece of Google in case that does come. Oops, wrong stock. We're still looking at Alibaba there, but I'm going to take a piece of Google. Google just flew to the downside for some reason, and I was not paying attention enough to that. So 116.69, I bid 67. It just did not hit me there. All right, here's 67 again. Give us the fill at 67. Nope, we didn't get that. Okay, so yeah, about that fill. All right, so we missed that fill at 67 right now. Let's see if we just go to 69 and grab it, and then that should come through there as Did we get? Yes, we did. Just got the fill right there as it just broke through. So that's good fill for us on that one. Again, with only 10 cents worth of risk, we will gladly take 40 or 50, sorry, there on that one. Sorry, 40 on that as we're short at 09, out 69. That's a 40-cent winner for us on that. We did talk about possibly going some Tesla short. First of all, nice pullback down for SoFi. Again, for that name, I'm not at 74, but I am at 73. So if SoFi does come down, that is a name, obviously, that we are interested in there for SoFi. So if that can come in, then we will be happy with that trade. Coming back in a little bit more, waiting for a 73 fill. And again, this is how it works for me, man. It's like, came in, we take the short, we're starting to get filled here, back down to the 200 period, SoFi going down. Shopify, again, we got some of these out, 63, 64 there, right at the 50 period in, out 50 period in, out 50 period again, some out at VWAP. We'll see if that wants to work with only now 2 minutes until the imbalances. We did get that Google fill. And Apple, unfortunately, I don't even have a stop order for this one. We talked about should have got some out there, should have, would have, could have, doesn't matter. Now we're starting to rip back up to the upside. I'm just going to hold on to this one and see what happens with the imbalances, man. So that's that trade, and we do have these imbalances. Oh, yeah, Tesla, yeah, that is a money printer on the short. We identified that. We talked about it and didn't trade it. Broke VWAP, hovered around VWAP. This is actually like an inverse kind of trade to what I was thinking on Shopify. Hovering around the VWAP, we should have done something about it because it was red on the day. If the futures aren't doing anything, then I'm not worried about relative strength versus weakness. But if the futures were to go down right now, then we know Tesla would have even fallen further. So missed opportunity up here at 167. Barcoding and VWAP, should have been short that name. That's a missed opportunity no matter what.
So I'm actually going to trail out a Tesla in like 8 cents, 10 cents. 8 cents right now currently, but 1 minute to the imbalances. You already mentioned this. So this ELOX, there's no news on ELOX. Brendan just told me that just another low floater, 1.5 million share float. Oddly enough, it's halted right at resistance on the daily because why wouldn't it, right? So this was legitimately $3.50 this morning, but it's been up here before, retraced right back in. A lot of times, like this would normally be like a breakout style setup, but it's 350. So there's nothing we're doing. I'm not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole because when am I supposed to get out of it, right? Like even if it opens back up, which I'm not sure it's going to open until 4 o'clock at this point, like there's limited time for there to be a move. We have to be flat at the end of the day. But what a interesting level for it to halt at. It's currently indicating a 1350 open on a 1046 halt with a double top on the daily. So I don't know if I can go back far enough. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing up here. So good luck if you're long ELOX. No one ever went broke taking profit. You saw what happened to whatever that other thing was. I keep forgetting what that nonsense stock was. OMH. It's like Oh My Home. That's the company name.
Maybe it's OH.
I just remember it's Oh My Home, but the ticker always eludes me.
3, 2, 1. Come to my screen real quickly there as we'll have the imbalances, or we both have them up. Amazon bid. Brendan's going to come with a number. I don't even think it's going to be anything dramatic, which means it's going to be huge probably. There. I feel like it's going to be a sell. Amazon buy side. You can see Amazon starting to go back up. Peloton buy side. What? Oh, Peloton's at 750. Okay. Strange. I wasn't remembering that being
the recall, remember last week?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that high. It was down. It had a nice move. Yeah, there's the move today. Yeah, like Peloton was 680 off the open. So a nice little move upside on Peloton today. That's a good one. CCL there, getting Starlink on board right now. So that's good for the cruises. That's up 5%. That's a good move upside for CCL. After that, man, I mean, WFC, the banks, we talked about that with Michael Burry. I like WFC around this 39 area. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Since then, nada hitting right now. We did take a 74 fill on SoFi, so we only have half of this position left right now, SoFi. If it breaks 75, maybe I'll punch a little bit more out, but until then, that name's continue to work. Obviously, Google is working down now, down, even lower. I'd say obvious, but Brendan gave it 250 to sell, so at least we're right about that one, and it's kind of a nothing burger right now. So there it is, out again on Google near the bottom, so we'll spin the money one more time for that. Probably the last time today as we are getting lighter and lighter on everything. Now, Shopify, by the way, thanks to Trick Daddy and everybody out there, man. Like, I didn't necessarily believe too much in this trade, but we just followed our own rules. And, again, pick the spots. do the TA and figure it out. So we wanted to get out if it broke through here. Didn't break, held, upside, banger. So Shopify just keeps the game moving for me, man. So great day today, and that's about it. Don't have too much else to say. Screwed up Google early. We'll try to be more patient tomorrow for you.
That's the thing. I mean, it's never easy to be patient 9:30 because you're geared up. It's game day, right? It's like, imagine you're like, okay, I'm going to work on my mid-range game. I'm not taking any threes, and the tip-off comes, and all of a sudden you're standing right there in the corner with an open look at a three when you're trying not to take those. And you just, I don't know. That's a basketball analogy because I have basketball in my mind. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. That Denver series is going to be sick. I'm out of Tesla. You can see what just happened here. These wicks are nonsense, but it did break the consolidation and get back above 166. So I got out. It is trading at 166.35, but it did not just go to VWAP in one split second and all the way back down $1.50. Just some dark pool wicks there. It looks like ELOX won't open until 4 o'clock. So when you're halted this late in the day, the rules are, and if they open before 4, then that doesn't make any sense to me. It will open at 4, and then the opening print will essentially be like the closing print, and you'll get aftermarket trade on ELOX. I'm now down on Tesla. There was nothing on the imbalances that actually looks interesting as far as I was concerned for any potential trade there. So we're going to have to sit those ones out. And one last one for you because I showed you the stop did work. I tightened my stop on the reentry on Upstart. At this point, at this time of day, I know it's really like risking like 5 cents, but at the end of the day, there was no room for it to risk 30 to 40 because it wasn't really going to drop 2x that at that particular time. So I ended up getting back in the consolidation and just getting right back out on a tight stop. But that stop order worked absolutely fine for me. We'll be done for the day here and then work into tomorrow. One stock that I know is one I'll be trading tomorrow, at least a very high likelihood, is going to be Micron. It ended up going to 65 and pulling back. That said, I gave you my reasons for not really hunting at the top again. It gave you a reason to get in. I felt that was a little tight to 350. If I put it on, it would have worked, but I said I wanted to wait for tomorrow to play this level again. Brendo.
U.S. just saying, guys, they're going to buy 3 million barrels of oil to restock their reserves. So oil's closed, but in electronic trading, that just happened. Big spike there on volume. Again, the U.S. saying they're going to buy 3 million barrels worth to restock reserves.
Yep. I saw that, and consumer total consumer debt hit fresh new high during Q1. It's a paltry 17 trillion.
Is that all?
Right now, so not bad.
It's all good.
It's all good on that one. All right, so SoFi, I may just wind up getting out of this one. We just took some more 76s. I know it sucks. We're short 81. Our best fill was 74s right there as it's trying to go back up to the upside. Not even trying, but I mean, we can look at the imbalances. I didn't even notice SoFi on there. I kind of forgot. We were already out of 40 or 60%, only had 40% left. No, I don't think it is at all. I don't know.
Oh, no, it is. It is.
Where?
At the bottom.
Right there. Yeah, okay.
Literally, right at the top.
Okay, so SoFi's on there. And it's just the bottom because of the font. Like, it just keeps going down. It's not like that's the last one. I saw Intel to buy.
FFI.
Okay, wow. Intel, wow, Neil. $30 again for Intel. That name's going. All right, let's just get out of everything here. All right, Google,
Awesome.
Now it goes to
What
16.
else, guys? What else are we supposed to do right now? Let's just put a 36 bid. Take this out. Hopefully it does. Don't just hang around 37, my guy. Come back in a little bit here. Oh, come on. Give me a 40 then. Okay, there it is.
Oh my God.
10 cents worth of risk just puts in the pocket 70 cents there for Google as we were holding our last piece. We don't generally like to hold into the imbalances, so we take one out just before the imbalances come out at 59, then we get another piece out right there at 40 to sort of end the day on Google, which is still a red stock for me. Obviously, we talked about this disastrous little situation here off the open where we really thought to go short against 118, and quite frankly, we're short 118. It's going to close the day at 116.30, so it's a good trade, but it doesn't matter. It's all about timing in this business, and 118.50 was not the right timing, and we got out, and a downside move there for Google. But there's the imbalances. Wolf.
Microsoft is hilarious.
Microsoft. Where did we get out? Good out for Softy.
It just keeps bouncing right off flat. Like 308.97 is the close, and it just keeps bouncing off 309.
Right.
So, I mean, this was probably, it'll be a good litmus test for tomorrow, but I think the bigger litmus test for tomorrow is going to be Apple and Tesla for the market. Right? Given how weak they were today, if we want to continue this move, I don't like our chances without those two,
man, I'm
as far as I'm
exhausted.
concerned. It's
Wow.
going to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be a big week. I do think, but quite frankly, I would love to see us break out to the top side of the NASDAQ, just given where you are on the Qs. And we can't say this enough, but you're at a monster level of resistance on the higher time frame. I'm only watching Softy here because of that bet. I have ELOX up out of morbid curiosity. If you are interested, ELOX is now saying 10.95. So previously it was like 13 bucks it was going to open up. Now it's saying 10.93. It just came down a little bit. So still in the money because it halted at 10.46. But if you're waiting around for that to open up, if you're long, congratulations. Tread lightly. Those things have been known to rug from time to time. Just saying.
And there's Shopify out finally as well. Congratulations to anybody that put some money in their wheelbarrow today with Shopify. Couple good longs there to end the day. Our last one is 61.50, and you can see 25 cents or so. What price did we get exactly? I had an offer up here. It didn't go, so that's why it's purple. That will get recoded. Yeah, 75. So 54s to 75, 20 cents to end the day there. Apple, we said we'd get out of it. Just bounced off there. Maybe we should get out of it. And then SoFi, not much. Okay, new bank. So, you know, that's NU there. That was supposed to be the bank that was going to make the world go round, just like SoFi there. That's a Latin American SoFi, and that is to the downside, as long as that is new holdings there.
That is
NU, I would assume that's that.
Oh
Shout out to our Canadian friends with Rumble. I don't know anything about.
We don't trade 10
Grindr,
cent
of course.
music because
PaySafe is on there. A home look. It's nice to have the retail trade coming back for sure. So we'll go over to Home Depot right now quickly.
my daily's not working on. Do you have it?
It's not working. It should be working for me. Yeah, why not? Here's
There
Home
you go.
Depot, basically barcoding, but again, I think it's a 3 or 4% dividend. So we'll see what's going on with Home Depot. Not really giving me any feels for where they're going to report, although this should be a good quarter for them, especially guiding forward. You know, I was just talking about going home and making some like home improvements to my own place there. So I just feel like that is what's happening, especially with rates being so high. I don't know, maybe people are fixing up their place instead of getting a new mortgage to move somewhere else. So we'll find out what's going on with Home Depot right now.
Ain't no credit for that.
Yeah, you got to have some good credit for that. So we'll wait.
Credit's tight right now, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Square is climbing into the close.
Oh, I forgot to look at PayPal.
We could talk. I mean, we could talk about Grindr. I don't know. I haven't watched that stock. We haven't traded that stock in forever. I know Bumble, I thought, was doing pretty well as well. So, you know, that's social media stock,
Wasn't
I guess.
it-
With, you know what the thing about Grindr is, regardless of what it is, AI. I mean, we talked about Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, and if that gives you sort of a better feel for, you know, matches and stuff like that, I'm all for potential there. So, okay, I got
stock
to get out.
doesn't
There's only a
move.
couple more seconds left here.
Yeah, I mean, Rumble doesn't move, Grindr doesn't move either. Miss Cat is going to be on the bell in about 20 or just under 20 seconds to be sure. Going to be watching some Microsoft, see where it ends up. That one's wild. It was a great, fantastic bet. I think you got that one dead on because it was like a coin flip of all coin flips. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it, Cat. One more. There it is.
And Microsoft ends green.
It does. Final print.
I
It is
bet
official.
100 on red, so that would be lost. But like you said, we already made money long Microsoft, so that was all good. It's 4 o'clock right now. The market finally makes a little bit of a bump at the end of the day. There goes Microsoft. Doot. I know I sold some at 305. So that's where I am right now on Microsoft. We still have a lot of shares of this name, but not anymore since earnings. We didn't reload it or anything like that. Shopify, nice move at the end of the day as well. Google to the downside, but so far so good. That oil story I think will be carried forward to tomorrow as we find out that the U.S. is buying 3 million barrels. Wasn't that what? 3 million barrels. So that's a lot. It's a big price. Upside to 71, then falls back down in to close the day around 71.1. So let's go over to Brennan and find out how these markets ended the day.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that right back down again. I mean, we knew it was coming, but as you said, maybe we get some follow through tomorrow for energy. NASDAQ, still nice day, 0.5%, 0.66 there for the 100 and the composite. It was the Russell 2000 there on that late move in some of the regional banks that gets above 1 full percent there, 1.18, the Dow and the S&P. Ending things out positive, guys.
Yes, sir. And if you're watching it, ELOX opened up. It went from 11 to 13 and back down again. Now it's at 12. So this will be a wild ride. I'm sure one way or another, it's probably either rugging and down like $8 tomorrow morning, or we're making a run at $30 or $50 or whatever it might be. Usually there's no in between with these, so maybe there's a bit of a trade there. Good luck to anyone that is trading this. Nothing's come out on earnings that was on that board. The big one, I suppose, tomorrow would be Home Depot in the morning.
I don't really see anything else.
Yeah, I think Home Depot might be the biggest name out of those tomorrow morning.
Yeah, there's a Game 7 tonight, Seattle Kraken versus Dallas Stars. So I cannot believe in what a storied league the NHL is. You're going to have Florida versus Carolina, then you're going to have Vegas versus one of Seattle or Dallas. So Seattle, brand new franchise.
Yep.
Vegas, brand new franchise, give or take the last, I think, 5 years ago, maybe for Vegas.
Maybe the most unlikely combinations
I mean, imagine
possible.
gambling and having those as your Final Four. Wow, what an amazing opportunity to make a lot of cash on that one. And then I don't know when is the Laker? I'm going to go to NBA.com. When does that series start?
I don't know. Usually they give
You
them a
mentioned
few
you were
days.
excited for it. I thought maybe it was tonight, but
What does it say?
Thursday, Game 1.
Okay.
So a little ways away for that one. Game 1 is Wednesday between the Heat and Celtics. That should be hot. Oh no, May 16th is Game 1. Sorry.
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Game 1.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad. You see what this says on here? Look, Game 1. Game 1.
Well, yeah, that was. That
This
doesn't
is
make
literally
any sense.
NBA.
Come on.
This is sportingnews.com.
Come on, Sporting
I'm going to
News.
call them out right here. See, Game 1, Game 1. So
Oh,
I
think I know what they're meaning.
Game 1 game. Oh, one game.
So they're saying one game that night.
Right. One game that night. Yeah.
Well, why would you need to say
Because
that?
it also says it here too.
Yeah, that's.
Anyways, okay, so they're not wrong. I don't want to throw shade at them, although I tried to.
That's a really weird way to present that.
Yeah.
They could still figure it out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of.
And I actually
but it's
thought
gonna
I
be
was
good.
going to NBA.com.
Did you guys close?
No,
in that
we did
trade,
it, but
or-
now that I know it's tomorrow, I'm going to look into it and see what the actual odds are. I just know Denver's such a good team, man. I mean, they were running this whole season.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, and the Canadians are on there with Murray.
Jamal Murray.
And I don't think there is any.
Why are you giving me? Why? Huh? Oh. Well, you just put it down on my desk, Rob. I don't.
A solid state drive.
Oh, because he wants to do some stuff on our PC, so he wants. us
Oh,
to
right,
wait.
right. There's an updating thing here today.
Okay, fine, Rob.
On the PCs.
Uh,
Oh, man, I was going to submit some expense reports, but I guess I can't. Just use Rob's computer. All right, well, hey, we're getting.
Kicked out.
Think about Rob, man. I trashed some keyboards. The guy got us new ones.
He ran
Now he's
back
telling
here.
us to get the hell out of here. So let's do that before we come in tomorrow and nothing works. So let's make sure we do that. Not that Rob would do that, but we are making sure that we back up everything.
This one says Sean, but he put it on my desk. I don't know.
It's all good, man. Whoever, either you or I, getting okay. The more we delay this, the more Rob's giving us stink eye over
That
here.
was on purpose.
All right, let's go. Thank you so much to everybody today. Bears versus Bulls, Sharif, Max, great show. Thanks, Neil, again for everything. Thanks, Brendan over there working hard, and Mahad on the ones and twos again. And then I'm going to, thank Rob in advance for everything that he's going to do because we are going to get that all fixed up. And I don't know if he's updating your computer either or whatever up there, Brendo, but make sure you back up all your files. We
Sharif
cannot-
has a new one tomorrow.
New PC in total? A brand new
Again?
Brand new hard drive, brand new Windows.
Where? At his desk here? Up
No,
there?
this one over here. Over here.
The one he trades with.
Well, la
No, up here. Up here.
Oh,
Up
the
here.
co-hosting one.
Nice.
Okay, good. All right, well, here. Now we're delaying too far, so let's get wrapped up here. Thank you, everybody. Make sure, good luck on all your earnings reports, and we are back tomorrow with Trader TV Live at 8:30, so see you then.